What is going on, people? I am Edgar OtraVez, and this is the Flow Podcast. Now, I apologize for my voice. It's a little hoarse. It's because I was watching the fights the other night, and I got super excited because I could have sworn Brian Ortega was going to rip Volkanovski's head off. But that all aside, today my co-host is Cousin Primo, and we have special guest, our friend and horror director, Rick Gawel. And we're going to be talking about the Ghostbusters franchise. Now, we don't only just talk about Ghostbusters, we talk about He-Man, we talk about horror movies, Hellraiser, etc. We are the kings of the segue. Anyway, if you're new to the show, make sure you go to our website, theflowrollpodcast.com, where you'll get all the nonsense. You get a complete catalog of all our episodes and a store where you can buy some wall art. You can get a coffee mug, etc. Make sure you follow us on Instagram under the name The Flow Roll. So anyway, we have a good time on this podcast, man. We get super deep on the Ghostbusters lore. So I hope you enjoy it. Here's this show. Welcome to another episode of the Flow Roll Podcast. This is Edgar OtraVez. And today on the show, I have my co-host, not my cousin Primo. Not my cousin Primo. No. Cousin Primo. I have to edit that out.
I don't even want to say.
I got everybody mixed up there. I got not my cousin Dan on my mind because he's not here. But anyway, I'll just give him a snack. I'm sure I'll hear about it later. But anyway, so I got cousin Primo on, and I have our special guest back, horror director and a horror aficionado, Rick Gawel.
Thank you.
How's you doing, man?
Yeah.
All right.
A lot of fun.
Yeah, I was trying not to mess anything else up.
He's running it through his head like, okay.
Yeah, I was like being very careful. How do you pronounce his last name? Don't mess it up. Don't call him Richard.
Yeah. Anything is fine. I've been called worse.
And so today on the show, we're going to be talking about Ghostbusters and whatever other topics may arise. But so you guys went ahead and watched both movies.
Both and the 2016 version.
And the 2016. You watched the 2016 version with the female cast?
I watched the first two. I watched a making of documentary, but I saw the 2016 one years ago, but I didn't see it recently. So you're better versed at this one than I am.
Yeah, I'll have to admit I have been doing a lot of editing and a lot of other stuff. I have not gotten a chance to watch the movies, so I'm gonna rely on you guys to keep me straight on this one. But I also want to talk about like the cartoons too.
Oh, okay.
Because I've mentioned the cartoons before on the show,
Right.
Because I think they're dope. I think the cartoons are not only a good expansion of the world,
Right.
but they stand really well on their own, in some places. And but anyway, so where did you guys want to start?
Well, let's start where it all started.
With number one?
With number one.
Yeah.
And how, to tell you the truth, it really wasn't even going to be a Ghostbuster movie.
Oh, so was it you who told me, or was it Rick?
I think it was Rick. I'll probably say.
Yeah, about the original script.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. Yeah. So yeah, that's part of the notes that I wrote here. That Dan Aykroyd wrote the original script, which was over 500 pages long, and it was set in the future.
500 pages.
So that's like.
That's
What's 500 minutes? How many hours?
500 minutes is a long fucking time.
So it was a 500-page plus script set in the future in outer space, in which ghost-busting companies were like exterminators. There were a dime a dozen.
Oh wow!
And the premise was the Ghostbusters were in competition with these other groups. And they fought ghosts and aliens and monsters and things like that. So that was like the original concept. And then for the documentary I watched, when he wrote it, his original idea was him, John Belushi, and Eddie Murphy.
Right.
So hold up, let this guy take a sweater off.
take it off.
He's like over here fucking the fucking sound up. Yeah, he's going.
gotta review it.
Oh, what you got? Let me see the shirt. Look at that. You see, he just had to make it about himself.
Always that special.
He just had to pull attention away. We're sitting there squiggling around in his sweater, you know.
It's hot.
Oh, that's cool with the purple and the pink.
Yeah, the purple and the pink. That's very masculine of you.
Yeah, that's what they all say.
So anyway, you were saying?
It was Dan Aykroyd, John Belushi, and Eddie Murphy.
Uh-huh.
And John Belushi passed away while he was writing it. So his next go-to was Bill Murray. But the Slimer character was fashioned after John Belushi as an homage.
That's amazing.
Exactly, it was.
That's amazing.
So if you remember from Animal House when he's stuffing his face with the Jell-O?
Yeah.
Same kind of technique when he was munching on the hot dogs in that one scene. They kind of tried to capture the same exact thing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I remember you telling me, because you and I went to go see Candyman together.
Right.
And we spent like an hour after the movie talking about all kinds of shit. But like we sat outside in the parking lot. And I was sitting on the trunk of my car, and we were just chatting away, talking about like all the horror things that were in Candyman, and then we started talking about Ghostbusters, and this is one of the things he told me about.
Yeah.
But goddamn, that's crazy, man.
Yeah, and then when Ivan Reitman, the director, got brought in, and he pitched his idea to him, and Ivan Reitman's like, you got to cut all that down to like 90 minutes somehow.
Yeah.
And
True.
I guess it was him that said, I want it in New York City, and it's got to be real people and that kind of thing. And so Harold Ramis was brought in to rewrite it, and then that's how they... Wow.
Yep.
Fucking love Harold Ramis too.
Oh, dude, I love that guy.
What a different movie, man.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Ghostbusting in space and all that shit, but especially for the time, would have been way too out there.
Well,
It would have been way too out there.
It would have been.
It would have.
Like it's so much at one time.
It's too much, yeah.
Like,
well, I mean, 500 pages.
when you think about it, it's like the introduction already Ghostbusters, and it's like Ghostbusting in the future. There's no explanation how it got there, how it even happened.
Yeah.
There's probably no wonder it was 500 pages long, and they probably did have to explain all that just to get to the point where they're at now.
Yeah, and then on top of that, like, you see, the best thing about this is that now what the guy did was basically tell them, hold on, let's kind of do a prequel to all that. How did we get there? So now if they actually wanted to hit that whole idea, they can do it. Like if they wanted to jump to the future and say, these are the Ghostbusters of the future, and now it's like Ghostbusters Inc.,
Right.
You know, it makes sense. Because, I mean, if you think about it, Batman did the same thing. There's a future where there's a Batman Inc., and Batman is basically kind of...
global.
No, not only global, but it's like corporatized policing, you know? So it's, you know, that's kind of what this Ghostbusters movie in the future sounds like it would have been. But
Just so blown up. And in fact,
it's so much, yeah.
The director of the 2016 one, Paul Feig, I believe his name is. I remember reading an article or an interview with him back when the 2016 movie came out, and spoilers are okay.
Yeah, go for it.
Right, so
I mean, if you haven't seen these movies by now, like you got
under a rock.
Yeah, you better get internet under that rock that you're living in. Yeah, living under.
So apparently, in the 2016 one, there was a planned sequel, and it fell apart because of how poor the reception was.
I thought that movie did okay. Like, I thought it was good, and I think it deserved a sequel. But I mean, there's things I didn't like how they kind of made punching bags out of like how they gave her like punching gloves or something.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
the fist
things
gauntlet,
with and I was just like, that's stupid.
Like she throws like a ball of energy to.
Yeah, she can punch them and they explode or something. I was just like, what happened with the traps?
Well, technically,
Yeah.
I watched it. She didn't really like. She
Yeah.
said it was just to knock them out of the way. Because there's a big fight scene at the end of that movie, and everyone's crazy now.
You see, I don't know. That's when they went too far, man.
That was it.
That was it, man. That's
you
the one.
punch ghost. That's not real.
That's not real, man. You can't punch ghosts.
Apparently, he was gonna go with the space route in the sequel.
Oh wow!
Because what he said in the interview was no one ever said ghosts are just on Earth, so he was gonna try to tap into like a outer space element to the Ghost for the sequel, which never happened.
That's
I think
too
that would have
bad.
been a nice homage to the original idea.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
That would have been awesome, dude.
That would have been awesome.
But you see, the thing too is, it's like I like that cast. I like that female cast. I thought they were great.
Yeah.
And it's too bad, man. It's too bad that it got so poorly received. I don't understand some of the fandom, like where they get off, like getting so crazy about stuff. I'm like, that movie wasn't bad. I mean, it wasn't like knock your socks off, give me an Oscar. But it was good. I watched it several times. My daughter loves that movie. We watch it. And I don't understand why people hate stuff so much all of a sudden. You know?
People are so involved in these series that a little bit of difference. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm one of them.
Oh yeah.
Okay, but
You're like, oh no, the new Transformers movie, Soundwave was pink.
yeah,
He's supposed to be dark blue, man.
purple. Damn it. No, but I mean, I understand where they're coming from. But some people just take it. I mean, you have to accept the change in some franchises for it to continue on.
Well, yeah, you
Like you pointed out, Transformers. Okay, everybody hates Michael Bay. I mean, it's terrible.
I don't know if I hate him, but
I just think the Transformer Michael. They call it the Bayverse, of
Oh,
Transformers.
is that what they're calling it?
They're calling it. It's terrible. But it's like the when Bumblebee came out,
Yeah.
that wasn't by him, and everybody loved it.
Well, it's a good movie.
Right.
It's a smaller movie. I think it's one of the things that they kind of did with it was they kind of, because I mean those Michael Bay movies with the Transformers, they started off big, and then like some of the fight scenes. I mean, they're very grandiose. I mean, especially Michael Bay with the action scenes and the moving camera. Like it was hard to watch. Like I couldn't tell what was going on the screen, right? So I think that's part of the problem with those movies. I think Bad Boys was great. But those Transformers movies, trying to do the same thing that he did with it, just doesn't work. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because there's too much shiny metal, and that all that kind of makes a big matzo ball of mess on the screen. But in terms of story, they weren't super. They weren't super satisfying. That Bumblebee movie was a small movie. It was just about a girl and her car,
Right.
the first car she ever had, and it ends up being a Transformer. So they kind of like took this big idea, this small idea, like a boy and his dog kind of deal. It's a girl in her car, and then they just kind of put it in Transformers. I think that's why it works so well. Because there's a little, and on top of that, they kind of gave it, they set it in 1985 or something,
Bumblebee was. I never saw that one.
Yeah.
It's on. Actually, what they did, they threw a little bit of homage into it because in 1984, that's when Transformers was released. So they made it so that was the year that Bumblebee hit Earth.
Okay.
It was 1984.
Was John Cena was in that one?
Yes, he was.
Oh, was he?
Yes, he was.
Yeah. I don't remember.
He was Sergeant somebody.
Well,
So
what was the name of the girl? Emily? Was it? I can't remember her name right now.
Seinfeld.
Emily Seinfeld?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. She's great. What a great casting for that show, for that movie. But anyway, going back to Ghostbusters. So that's an amazing idea. But like, you mentioned something else to me. I can't remember right now. That was awesome. God damn, it's slipping my mind.
About Ghostbusters?
Yeah, about
Or what
Ghostbusters.
Okay. I mean, we talked about so much.
Yeah.
I had a theory, though, but not really a theory, but we were talking about why 2016 didn't work or why it received so much negativity.
Yeah.
I think it wasn't just the fans that did it. Like, I don't think there's enough Ghostbuster fans to, like, tank it as bad as it got tanked. But I think so much of it was just, not to go in a, sociological avenue here, but I think there was political motivation behind it. I think there was just backlash of an all-woman cast. Because it got like more thumbs down. Like the trailers got more thumbs down than thumbs up before the movie even came out. So I think there was a lot of it. I think people, old guys like us, we like our nostalgia. We like the way things were when we were kids.
Yeah.
So we like to remember it that way. So then when we see 4 women, we may not be quick to react negatively to it, but like some people might, because like you're missing this nostalgia.
Yeah.
But then you also have, from just modern culture, like, you have big groups of people that, kind of like movies the way they've always been, which is, quite frankly, guys are the heroes.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden now you have 4 women who are the heroes. Like one of the things you and I talked about at Candyman was, why did Captain Marvel receive so much negativity versus Wonder Woman?
Yes.
And I think, in my opinion, it was more than just the content of the movie. I think it had to do with political aspects, and sociological aspects, and things like that. So I think all that kind of played into it. I didn't think the 2016 movie, Answer the Call, I think is what it's called. Mm-hmm. I didn't think it was great, but I didn't think it was horrible.
Yeah.
No,
that's how I feel. Like I mean, I enjoyed it. I don't think it was great, but I enjoyed it.
Maybe you could answer this question, since I didn't see it recently. It's been a few years. Did they acknowledge the 1984 people, or was it a complete reboot? Because I don't remember.
It was a complete reboot. Each character was actually, every person that was in the original Ghostbuster actually played a different character in that movie. Like Bill Murray, who was supposed to be Peter Venkman, played some psychic debunker, and he had his own TV show, and like he did that with them.
But he wasn't Peter Venkman?
No, he wasn't Peter Venkman.
So were those 4 women, like within that universe, were they the first Ghostbusters? Like
apparently they were the first Ghostbusters.
Okay, all right.
Right.
And that's another thing then, like why are you messing with history, right?
Yeah.
Don't get rid of the favorites, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And then Dan Aykroyd played the cab driver, but he was wearing the clothes from the ghost cab driver in Ghostbusters 1.
Wow.
Yeah, he had the hat and everything. I'm like, wait a minute. That is bad.
That's a good catch, man. I did not see that.
Yep.
I did not realize that. Yeah, I don't know, man. I agree with you on all those points that you're talking about. Like, just kind of like the time. There's a lot of hate happening. People like to poo-poo stuff. I don't like that. I don't like how people just, because some people just like to play the contrarian. They want to be able to say, well, you like that? It sucks. It's just like, well, okay, it sucks. Tell me why. It just sucks. Well, why does it suck? Oh, it's an all-woman cast. It's like, dude.
And that's the first thing you look at.
It is the first thing you can come up with. You
Right,
can't tell me story. You can't tell me camera angles. You can't tell me, something technical. You're gonna go to something, aesthetic like that. Like, come on,
But people dumped on that movie, and
they dumped on that black actress too, really hard.
And I liked her.
I liked her too.
She actually, I'm going to tell you something right now. She actually had more to do than
her black counterpart in the originals.
In the original, yeah.
Than Winston.
Than Winston, yes.
Yeah. Winston came out, halfway through the movie, and same thing with the second movie. He came in like little guest spots here and there as a group. But no, nothing solo.
Yeah, no, not like the main 3 guys.
Right, exactly. Not like the main 3 guys.
Yeah, but no, she's great because there's that part where she's got what's her name, McCarthy, on the floor, and she's like, "May the power of Christ compel you."
No, she has the power of pain compels.
Pain. Was it pain?
Pain. I just watched this, and she goes, "Pain." She slaps her.
And she slaps the shit out of her.
But see, that was a cool. I like that part of it too. The possession of one of the Ghostbusters,
Right?
Because Melissa McCarthy put Kate McKinnon out the window. Like I thought that was a pretty cool.
I like
scene.
her.
Oh yeah,
I like
She was my favorite. Holtzman.
Yeah,
she was my favorite.
She's my favorite.
Holtzman is awesome.
Yeah.
I just love it when she busted out those gun whips.
Yeah.
That's pretty much. She's like, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, she's about to get dirty.
Holtzman was my favorite.
She was. It was great because I mean, basically, she's Egon, right?
Right.
But her twist
Twisted.
is a little different, right? Like Egon was kind of goofy but serious. She is goofy but like funny, like weird, like silly almost,
Yeah, with the goggles and the combat boots.
Yeah.
She was just a cool
Asking those silly
looking
questions.
character. Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah, but the best part about it is like they're goofy, but they're all very smart people. I mean, they're all scientists, right?
Exactly. Yes.
Except for the black actress. What's her name again?
Oh my god, I can't even remember. That's sad that we don't remember.
Yeah.
Who she is.
I don't know. I don't know the names of any of the female actresses, and I would usually use my phone, but my phone is recording us right now. So,
Right. Nice
I know it's Kristen Wiig, Melissa McCarthy, Kate McKinnon, but I know her name. The character name was Patty, but I don't remember. I know she's on site.
do you have the phone? Pop it up. Just because.
Terrible. I know it's
Yeah, no, just because
No,
we should make sure that we.
I just didn't want to like have
No,
a
you-
phone ringing. While we
No,
were
no,
on the
you
show.
go ahead and look it up.
I
And,
know the backlash was so bad. She deleted her
Accounts.
social media accounts.
Yeah.
Just 'cause of the
Oh, I
hate.
did hear that.
Yeah.
That is
did hear
fucking. That is fucked up,
And I
man.
think the same thing happened to that actress who played Rose in the Last Jedi movie.
Yeah.
Like, the hate was
Oh.
so bad on her that she deleted her account.
But that's not even her fault, man.
right.
That's poor writing. She was just showing up.
I think, honestly, like my opinion is, I think so much of it is more society driven versus something based in the movie or the story.
Yeah.
Like the Women Ghostbuster movie, like people just dumped on it right away, unfortunately. But like when you read the comments, like it's just so much, woman hate versus the actual movie. Like how many of those people actually saw the movie? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
True. Her name is Leslie Jones.
Yeah.
Leslie Jones. Yes.
Leslie
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
yes.
Yes. She's Yeah, no, man, she didn't deserve the hate that she got. That's fucking stupid. And these trolls, these people that sit on the internet and just shit on people for it's easy to shit on someone. It's easy to like, especially when it's like egg in a house. You it's fun, right? You drive by, you throw the eggs at the house, and then you just keep driving, and then the person doesn't know who egged their house. It's also so petty. Like, what are you going to do? You found out who egged your house. What are you going to go to this house? Tell them to come and clean your house? Do you know how much trouble that can cause you? Like you don't know what kind of nut egged your house to begin with. You might be an asshole. You might be like, fuck you and shoot you at your doorstep. So like, what do you got to do? All you can do is sit there and wash the egg off your house. That's all you really can do. And this is similar to that, except there are so many people piling up at once that it's like you don't just get egg, you get like a whole giant fucking omelet on your fucking house, and it just hurts, right? You just all you can do is sit there and be angry, and I can understand. I mean, it must really suck to be a celebrity like that, and then to have people just hate on you just because you're doing your job. But I mean, at the same time, they get paid a lot of money.
Get paid a lot of money, but still, undeserved.
Yeah, but it's not right.
All of that garbage.
It is absolutely undeserving of all that.
And consider all the hate they received before the movie even came out. It was so unjust.
Oh, that's so crazy. There's shit like that's happening where it's like they don't like. I believe Rotten Tomatoes fixed this, but like it was getting to a point where it was like they were hating on the movie and they were down voting it. Even before the movies were showing, even before the movie would be released, and I'm like, how the fuck are you doing that? That's
that
not
happened to Captain Marvel.
Yes, that's exact. You're right. Absolutely right.
And again, bringing up the conversation we had at Candyman, We talked about a bunch of stuff. You know, we talked
a lot.
Yeah. The segue was the 2016 Ghostbusters movie. Like,
Right.
Why did the women cast get so much hate? I brought up the question of, you know, why was Wonder Woman, not just the movie, but the image or you know, the persona of Wonder Woman better received than Captain Marvel? Captain Marvel had that issue with Rotten Tomatoes, where people, like, before it came out, it was, you know, the meter was going down just to give it bad press. Again, so much of it is just politically driven, and it's just so much.
There's some of it too. Is the actress? I can't remember her name. The actress that plays Captain Marvel. Brie Larson. She was campaigning for the movie Captain Marvel, and in the process of campaigning, was attempting to be funny. And she came off as annoying, I guess.
Okay.
And that kind of, I believe, had something to do with it. But also, I think it has something to do with the fact of the way they dress Captain Marvel. Like, Captain Marvel is wearing essentially pants, right? It's a little bit more of a masculine outfit, but not masculine like she's wearing a tie, but I'm saying less feminine. Is really what I'm saying. It's not as, whereas Wonder Woman, you know, she's got like a bustier, you know, she looks, you know, she's basically running around in a bathing suit, you know, she's just as, you know, resilient as a character as Captain Marvel. Like, in fact, I think Captain Marvel's power set is probably nerding out here.
No,
Captain Marvel's power set is more powerful than Wonder Woman, so she can run around, you know, in a bathing suit as well and not get hurt. But you know, Wonder Woman's dressed in a like a fancy bathing armor suit, and you get to see all this skin, right? So there's a little fan service in that respect, and I think stuff like that has something to do with it. You know, also she's a little more charismatic, just in general, in front of like cameras and interviews and all that. She's a little more confident. So that actress, Gal Gadot. She's also just a different kind of person that she interviews a little better than Brie Larson. So, but I think she's also a little older. So there's a few things that play there, but yeah, Brie Larson doesn't deserve the hate that she got. But things like that factor in, like all those little things. Maybe she would have interviewed a little better. Maybe the pants and her look in the outfit wouldn't have mattered, you know? But I do think that there's a lot of sexist nonsense going on between those two things, because that's basically what we're talking about here in that respect, right? And it's for all the movies and stuff that we're talking about, especially the female Ghostbusters, Wonder Woman, Captain Marvel, all these female-led movies. The hate that they get, you can't help but notice it's probably coming from men, and they're hating on the women. And I'm like, you know, it's just like, how petty are you, man? I mean, are you really that weak? You're afraid of a strong woman? Like,
well, I see it as this
huge conversation.
Yeah.
That's a whole new show.
We definitely have veered off topic here, but
like, we're looking at Wonder Woman compared to Captain Marvel. Like, when us being fans of comics and movies and stuff like that, you know, who is more recognized?
Oh, for sure, Wonder Woman.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
that's another thing.
That's something that. Okay, I gave Captain Marvel a shot, and I love this. I love the movie.
I like that a lot too.
I also love Wonder Woman, but the truth of the matter, I know more about Wonder Woman than I knew about Captain Marvel, and I know she's not the first Captain Marvel. You know, she's probably the third or fourth Captain Marvel to bear the name, because the first Captain Marvel was a man.
Well, that was Marvel or whatever,
right?
Yeah.
But the thing is that not a lot of people are starting off in comic books. The first thing they know is, like, if you name me 3 characters from DC. Oh, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
You tell me, hey, give me 3 names from Marvel. Oh, Spider-Man,
Iron Man, probably right now.
Captain America.
Yeah.
Right. Not one of them is a female character.
You might get Black Widow here and there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But now you do, because there's the fan base.
Yeah.
There is people out there who really do who didn't know a jack thing about Black Widow, but now they do. It's like, oh yeah, Spider-Man, Captain America, Black Widow.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's what a lot of people are like. Oh, okay. Why did she get this? Why is she getting blasted and this woman isn't? And it's like, it could be also based on that. It's the popularity of the character.
Well, the other problem too, again, not to veer off too much off topic, but like the Captain Marvel character isn't very well liked on the comics either. Like she's not written very well either. They have, I mean, and obviously, I think we've mentioned this before. But actually, I talked about this very subject with not my cousin Dan on the Candyman episode, where it's just like, this is why it's important to have people of a certain lifestyle or gender or whatever write for that particular experience. If you're from that experience, you should be writing for that experience, and it shouldn't be somebody who doesn't know anything about it really firsthand.
True.
Like we're talking about writing strong women for superheroes. We need a comic book writer or someone who loves the material, who is a woman who can write for that type of character, just like Candyman, like we were talking, you and I, and one of the things I talked about in the show too is just like you and I had that long discussion, about writing and directing and why it's important to have, black artists write for that experience, direct and make movies for that experience. There's a few problems that I came across with the original Candyman when I was talking to Dan on the podcast,
right.
and it's because it's directed and written by white people, and that perspective that they took in the lead of that movie was a white person, but that's because they wanted to take a perspective that it's from outside of the culture, right? So it kind of makes sense. But Candyman, this new Candyman movie is so much better, right? And they didn't write it that way.
I loved it.
I loved it too.
Have you seen it?
No, I have not seen it.
You got to watch that.
I've been
It's great.
I've watched the first one, and then I decided to watch all of them. So
You watched all of them?
they're like, no, I was gonna watch the first one, and it's like, okay, well, how many are there right
There's
now?
like 3 or 4 of them,
There's like
right?
4 Candyman.
Jesus.
I didn't know that there were 4.
There's a lot of
There's
them.
a lot of them.
Yeah.
It's like Chucky. They're all over the place.
Well, there's the first one, and then there was a second one.
Which were actual prequel. I mean, actual sequels to each other.
But then I don't know what happened after that. I know there's like another one after that
I
or two.
I don't even remember. I remember watching them.
I only knew of 1 and 2 and the new one. I had no idea.
Right. There's a bunch of them out there.
There's one. I know there's at least one before this new one. That's after the first 2. So so to my knowledge, there's at least 4 total right now.
It's like Hellraiser. There's like 8 of them.
Jesus.
I love Hellraiser.
I mean,
he loves Hellraiser too.
No,
right? He loves all that stuff, dude.
I'm scared of the box because that box is real. Okay, that's why I veer off for the movies. Like, no,
what was that? Pandora's box? Is that what it's called?
Whatever it
The
is.
puzzle box.
The puzzle box.
I don't know. I don't care.
Have you seen Hellraiser?
I don't. I've seen the characters. I know about the movie, but I have never seen it myself, and I don't really know.
Number 1 and number 2 are just
They're linked.
perfect.
Really?
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. It's
Does it hold up? Should I watch them?
Yeah.
If you're gonna
The
watch them,
effects are amazing.
Yeah.
you need to watch 1 and 2, and that's it.
Don't watch anything else.
Don't watch anything because it veers off, right? It veers off. It's terrible.
It gets
like
weird.
It's just like all this. There's, you know how what do they call it? The
Cenobites?
The Cenobites, right? They make sense in 1 and 2. In part 3, there's a dude that throws CDs.
Yeah.
That's one of them. He's like, dude, he throws CDs. He's a CD player. He's like, takes out the CD. Dude, that's all he does. And I'm like, he's killing people with CDs. I'm like,
I know nothing about this thing. I just know that there's monsters and they look weird and there's Pinhead and that's it.
they're all demons, apparently. They're
Okay,
demons
don't tell
of
me
torture.
anymore.
You need to watch it.
I'm gonna go check it out.
You need to watch it.
Don't ruin it
Don't
for me.
have the kids anywhere near. It
Exactly.
is so the gore.
It's
especially
gory?
Number 2.
Yeah.
It's over the top, but it's. I don't want to steal your.
It's no. It's like a torture film, pretty much. It's that's what they do.
I mean, I don't mind being scared, but I don't know if I want to watch torture.
It's brutal.
The
Tell him, don't lie to him.
The Frank character in the first movie, basically, when you go to watch it, there's a character in the movie who has no skin.
Ugh.
But no,
and they show you how he lost that skin.
Well,
okay.
Speaking of losing skin, dude, like I was fixing one of these window wells down here, and I was like cleaning up the rust off the metal on the outside with an angle grinder, and I went. Oh no! The angle grinder bounced off the metal, popped back at me, and I was wearing shorts, and it sliced the skin right off my leg.
So in other words, you were deli.
Dude,
They cut you like
dude,
a deli.
I hate that slicing.
There's I got like a triangle right here that's got no skin.
He's missing half a muscle.
No. It didn't. It just.
No, I know.
It just ripped the skin right off.
It like slivered it.
No. It didn't sliver it. It like because the angle grinder is like a metal like
Little wheel, the grind.
little wheel, and it's got little like spikes and stuff, you know, and it's just like this, you know, like it looks like a.
It's a sanding stone, pretty much what you're.
No, it looks like a angry wire brush, right? And it's just a circle thing, right?
Yeah.
And it spins real fast.
Right.
And so then it just knocked the skin right off. Oh my god! And then when I said I stopped, I looked at it, I started bleeding, and I was like, shit, you know. So then I looked at the angle grinder, and I looked at it, and there was like brown foam on the brush of the angle grinder.
Are you getting this?
It's like it seriously
turned you to chicharron. That's what it did.
Dude, basically, yeah. It took my skin and just
skin and turned him into a pork rind.
Yeah, dude.
A spicy one because he's a lot of spice.
Yeah, but dude, no, like, and then you look at it, I'm like, I know that's not dirt. No. I know that's not anything that I was picking up. That's all my skin right there.
Oh man.
Yeah, and it just went. I was like, boom. And I was like, fuck. And it happened like this, right? I was like, boom. And it kicked back, hit my skin, and then I came off of it, and I looked, and I was like, fuck. So I was like, I got to go disinfect this, patch it up, make sure I don't fucking lose a leg in the process, you know? Because, you know, you could get like, you know, staph or something, fucking goodbye leg.
Shot or something. You needed something.
No, dude, I went and cleaned it. Fucking took me like 10 minutes to clean it up, patch it up, and then I had to come back outside and finish working. Yeah, but that was.
You don't want to watch it then.
Well, I was.
You might have a bad reaction to it.
No, I don't know. Well, I'm just thinking like you guys are talking about all this blood and guts, and I'm like, oh yeah, you know, speaking of blood and guts.
Did you ever see Silent Hill?
Oh yeah,
Silent Hill.
Both of them.
Isn't that a video game?
That's a video game, dude. And it has that triangle head guy with a big ass sword walking around.
Pyramid heads.
Yeah, the pyramid heads.
The nurses are great. The zombie nurses. I went to when Brenda and I went to Los Angeles about 10 years ago or something. We went to Hollywood Horror Nights at Universal Studios. And the theme that year was Silent Hill. And so they had all these actresses dressed up as the nurses, like walking through, and they had Pyramid Head and all that stuff, and the Pink Rabbit. And I got so excited when I saw the nurses. I ran up to one and I asked, I started asking her questions, and I could see the actress through the mask, like you see that one eye, and she's just giving me the look, like, don't stop talking to me, I can't talk to you, blah blah blah. But it was fun. I got a cool picture of it. I bring that movie up though because on the subject of skin.
Yeah.
There's a scene, and again, spoiler alert. There's a scene where there's a woman at the altar, and you see her skin, her entire body of flesh just get completely ripped off. And and it's like when it happens, you're like, oh my god, I just saw that. But anyway,
back to Ghostbusters.
So go back to Ghostbusters. Yeah, we're the best at segues on this episode. Now, we interrupt the podcast to let you know that if you're building a website and you need a hosting service, Bluehost is definitely the way to go. Especially if you're building it in WordPress, for example. It's the hosting service I use for my website, the Flow Roll Podcast, and They're super dependable, never had a problem, easy to use. I highly recommend them. Make sure you use the referral link in the description so that Bluehost knows I sent you. Also, the music you're listening to here comes from Epidemic Sound. Now, Epidemic Sound is a great service which allows you to get licenses to music with a very affordable monthly plan. It's great. And you can get a 30-day free trial if you act now. With over 35,000 tracks and 90,000 sound effects, you will find all that you will need for your projects. When you head over to Epidemic Sound, make sure you use my referral link in the description so they know that I sent you. Now, I just recently started using Monday. Monday.com has what they call an work operating system, a work OS. What it is a work management software. It's more than just a to-do list. It allows you to work with teams. You can put timelines on things. It organizes your projects in a very easy to read dashboard, and it's super customizable. I love it. Just started using it. I'm sharing it with my teams now. It's a great tool for you to use for your work, especially nowadays when we're working from home and we're a little more disconnected. We don't have the people in front of us to ask questions about where is this project? How are you doing on this? What's the timeline, etc., etc. So with Monday, it makes it very easy for you to kind of keep an eye on things. I love it. I love it. It's an amazing piece of software. I highly recommend it. And when you make your way over to monday.com, make sure you use my referral link in the description. So let me get a drink. You guys keep talking.
There's a lot of editing going on here.
So I throw out just a couple more factoids out at you. So I got all this from the documentary that I watched.
Okay.
Just a few other kind of fun things. So Dan Aykroyd, who wrote the original. By the way, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man is one of the few characters that went from the 500-page script all the way to the new one.
Oh.
So the Stay Puft had always been a part of.
And it's
That's awesome.
And it's always going to be a part of it.
Yeah.
It's always going to be a part of it.
So that stayed. Dan Aykroyd's grandfather used to host seances, and his father wrote a book called The History of Ghosts.
Right.
So he was immersed. He if you ever YouTube him, interviews that he's done, he is very much into cryptozoology and ghosts. And
he sure is.
Yeah. That's the factoid I wanted to bring up. Okay. That's what I was trying to remember and I couldn't. That his whole family is into this kind of stuff.
Exactly.
He grew up on this stuff. A healthy diet of the supernatural.
His vodka, Crystal Skull vodka. Even that has roots in the paranormal too, I believe. The actual crystal skulls that are found around the world.
Yeah.
Oh yes, I heard about that. Yeah.
Have you seen that bottle? It looks beautiful.
It's cool.
Oh, I have not seen it, but I've heard
3 of them. There's a black one, a clear one, and then there's one with a matte finish on it.
I didn't know that there was that they had different ones. I've only seen the clear one.
I know. Yes, there's at least those 3. The clear one, there's a bone colored one. And then I think there's a black skull.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
That guy that Dan Aykroyd is a weird guy. I always thought he was just a funny guy. He's super intelligent, but a little bit of a weirdo.
He's out there.
Yeah.
He is out there.
It's awesome. I've heard him on I believe it was on the Joe Rogan podcast. He was on there.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, he was fantastic, dude. I was like, this guy's
such a fascinating guy to sit down and talk to.
Yeah, dude, he's so fascinating, dude.
My hero, yeah.
He's great. It was a great podcast.
I've seen him in a couple movies, but I'm to tell you the truth, I'm just a fan of his Ghostbuster movie. I mean, there's nothing out there that, except for what was it, Stripes?
I love Stripes. No, he wasn't in Stripes. That was Harold Ramis and Bill Murray.
No, he was in with.
I love Stripes. It doesn't hold up very well though.
No. Nothing but trouble.
No, I think he's he's Spies Like Us.
Oh, Spies Like Us with Chevy Chase.
Chevy Chase, yeah.
That one's awesome.
Yeah, that one I do like. That one I do like. Yeah.
One last thing I thought you guys might find interesting. Two more things. I thought I was floored by this factoid. I didn't know this. About 80% of the shots that made it to the final film were first takes.
Oh,
wow.
Shit.
Wow.
Of the first Ghostbusters.
Yes, 80% of the footage were first takes because they did such an amazing job. Like they would do other takes, but
Right.
they ended up defaulting. One of the examples was so apparently Bill Murray went off script a lot, which he's known to do.
Yeah.
So you know the scene where they come out of the banquet hall and he says, "We came, we saw, we kicked its ass."
Yeah.
They filmed that several times. That was the only time he said that. Every time he came out of the door, he said something different.
Oh.
But when he said, "We came, we saw, we kicked its ass," Ivan Reitman's like, "That's the one," and that's the one they went with.
Wow.
Also,
That's great.
I thought this was really cool. Sigourney Weaver is the one who came up with the idea of Dana Barrett getting possessed. That was not in the script.
Oh, wow.
And it was also her idea that she should become one of the demon dogs. And she apparently, in her interview with Ivan Reitman, according to Ivan Reitman, jumped up on his coffee table, behaved like a dog, and started howling. And he's like, "That's it."
Wow. That's funny.
I would have thought that would have been in the script,
Yeah.
but that was all her doing. And the last thing is original casting was John Candy was supposed to be Louis Tully.
Yes, I heard that.
Louis Tully?
Yeah, the
Which one's
lawyer.
Moranis?
Oh, the lawyer.
Rick Moranis guy.
Oh,
The nerdy dude.
interesting.
Wow, but how would that even play out?
I don't know if that would've
I
worked.
can't even see him.
I can't, but he was. I mean, he was amazing, talented. But now I only see Rick Moranis.
Right, exactly. I
They
only see him.
probably would have changed the character. He probably wouldn't have been as nerdy.
And here this one will get a good reaction out of you. The original pick for Gozer, the Gozerian, was Pee Wee Herman.
I cannot see that.
No,
I
not
can't
at
see.
all.
I see a string. I see him come on. That would have been thrown out for
Yeah.
me.
But just imagine Gozer could have been Pee Wee Herman.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
No,
Right? It doesn't work, right?
It does not work. No, it doesn't work at all. But I mean, that movie had so much going on for itself at the time that they had $30 million budget
$30 million.
and came out with 280
million?
80 million.
And you're not including breakfast cereals and toys and merch and cups and all those other things that
They
came
must
out.
have made a fucking killing.
Oh,
Stickers.
I
And don't
think
forget the song.
I think
Yeah.
I saw a show where they were talking to Bill Murray that he's still living off of the residuals of that.
Really?
Yeah. Oh,
Dan Aykroyd or
no, Bill Murray.
Bill Murray?
Bill Murray is still living off the residuals of Ghostbusters. I mean, come on, anything that even has the word Ghostbusters, he's getting something.
So then-
Symbol.
That
Why
symbol-
wouldn't you want to be part of a new movie? Because he's been one of the people who's been like held, holding up.
Yeah,
Like
and the reason for that,
number 3.
and the reason for that is because Harold Ramis died.
No, that was before that. Before Harold Ramis died, they've always tried to make a Ghostbusters 3. And he's always been one of the reasons they don't make it.
This might be internet, but I had heard, or internet myth, but I had heard that one of his stipulations was that he wanted to die and in this new movie. Like he wanted the Venkman character to die. So
Wow.
we'll see if that actually happened.
Why?
And I don't know.
Because he wants to be a ghost in it, or
I-
because he wants to not be in it anymore?
I don't know. I get
he
the
wants to be.
impression that Bill Murray, much like Dan Aykroyd, is just out there, and he's kind of a weird dude. Oh, another factoid is that, so both Ivan Reitman and Dan Aykroyd tagged him to be in the movie. They're like, okay, John Belushi's dead. You're the new Peter Venkman, blah, blah, blah. And he said, yeah, I'll do it. And he never signed the contract. And it was like the day before shooting. Ivan Reitman's telling the story. He's like, it's the day before shooting. He's like, yeah, we started at 8 a.m. We're outside the library. Like, will Bill Murray be there? And no one knew. And then all of a sudden, he was on set.
Wow.
Did he ever sign the contract?
I don't know if I'm sure he did eventually because he had to get money for it. But like, they didn't know if their star was going to be there because he was in France and he wouldn't return phone calls and all this other shit. And he was like, he's really aloof. And they didn't know if their star was going to be there, and they were outside the New York Public Library, and he walked on set.
That's ballsy. That is ballsy, man.
So I don't know if you remember, but also in that movie Zombieland, he dies and he dies in that movie, right?
Right,
And
he
becomes a zombie too, right?
Well, no, he's pretending to be a zombie to not get eaten by zombies, but then they actually kill him.
Yeah.
And he says the only thing I think one of the jokes he has is like, I don't have any regrets. Well, maybe Garfield.
Yeah, he does say that.
Yeah.
No, that's crazy.
Yeah, because he plays himself.
He plays himself. Yeah.
Yeah. I forgot that he plays himself.
Do you want another factoid?
Yes, give us the
Keep
factoids.
giving it up, man.
Factoids. Okay. There was a 1970s comedy show called The Ghostbusters.
Right, the original Ghost live action TV
Live
series.
action, and it featured a gorilla.
Right.
Wait, what?
No, but if you recall, now do you know that the cartoon is called
Wait, let's get that on film. Do that face again.
No, hold on. So from the top, there was a TV show.
I'm gonna jump a second.
Okay.
You know how the cartoon's called The Real Ghostbusters?
Yes.
Okay. Do you recall after the 1984 movie came out, there was a cartoon called Ghostbusters?
Yes.
But it featured
A gorilla.
2 guys
Yeah.
and a gorilla.
Yeah.
And then because of the popularity of the 84 movie, the real Ghostbusters came out, which was about Bankman Stance.
Yeah.
Well, the Ghostbusters cartoon with the gorilla was based on the 1970s The Ghostbusters. Mm-hmm. And it was kind of a similar premise where it was a comedic slapstick type thing.
Uh-huh.
So it's a long story, but I think it's an interesting one. And I got this all from the documentary. Filmation, who made the He-Man cartoons,
Yeah.
owned the rights to the Ghostbusters. They produced that show in the 70s.
Uh-huh.
Filmation was owned by Universal Studios.
Okay.
Okay. Columbia released the 1984 movie.
Right.
They wanted to use the name The Ghostbusters. Filmation would not give it up, except if they paid like a really high price.
Uh-huh.
And they're like, oh, we don't know. Well, Ivan Reitman and the president of Columbia, you know the story?
I know the story.
Okay.
We've talked about it before. You forgot.
Really?
Yeah.
And then what happened?
They literally stole the name from
Well, they put the real Ghostbusters.
right.
Well, no, but that was for the cartoon.
That was for the
Yeah,
cartoon,
movie.
but for the movie, they promised them money, and then when the movie went global, they're like, oh, where's our cut? And they're like, no, we're not giving you nothing. We're staying with that, and then that's why they didn't want to release the name for the cartoon. So that's when they said, okay, fine, keep your Ghostbuster. We're the real Ghostbusters.
Which is ironic because they weren't the first.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And also, oh shoot, what was I gonna say? You're talking about Columbia Pictures and all that. Anyway, it'll come back to me. But yeah, it was that they took the name and that's what it was. So the original name of the movie was Ghost Smashers. The 500-page script is called Ghost Smashers.
That's hilarious.
I didn't know that. I thought it was actually called Ghostbusters.
Wow.
But then somehow they came up with Ghostbusters and they were like, oh, this is work. And then they had the whole filmation problem.
Right.
But while they were filming, since they did not secure the rights to Ghostbusters, the alternate name they came up with for the movie was Ghost Breakers. So there are several scenes in the movie that they had to film twice, such as when they're outside the firehouse and those two guys are hanging the Ghostbuster sign.
Right.
Well, there's footage of them doing the same exact thing, only they're hanging up Ghost Breakers.
Interesting.
And so they had to, because they didn't know what name they would have through editing.
Did the logo change?
No, the logo was the same, but the name. And I guess what was the tipping point, according to the documentary, was the scene at the end of the movie when they show up at the hotel or the apartment building.
Right.
They had like 400 extras. And the director's like, okay, we have to film this twice or something like that. And basically he's like, first round, you all have to shout, Ghostbusters, Ghostbusters. And they did it. And like they had 400 people shouting that. And apparently one of the producers called Columbia and is like, we are not having all these people start screaming Ghost Breakers. We're going with Ghostbusters. Pay them whatever you have to. Just get the name. So apparently that was the tipping point.
Right.
Was the apartment building scene.
Wow. Probably because it's just a pain in the ass to get all those people.
The thing was
to
too,
sync
was
up
that
again and say Ghost Breakers.
Ghost
the thing was is that it sounded
Yeah.
better saying Ghostbusters because he's like, no, let's just pay them what they want. This sounds way better than Ghost Breakers. Right.
Right.
You know,
And
I don't know.
Doesn't even make any sense.
It doesn't,
because they were busting ghosts.
yeah.
I think you're giving people too much credit. I want to say that there's a little bit of like not laziness, but just as like this is way too much work to get 400 people to do this again. Because I mean, there's probably like cutaways and like close-ups and wide shots, and you have to shoot a whole scene twice.
Plus, how expensive is film?
And how
Exactly.
film,
Exactly.
especially back in that day, because you're talking about purchasing the film, developing the film, all that shit,
And to film a movie twice.
it's expensive.
I would love to see Ghost Breakers. You know,
Well, the name is free. You should go ahead and shoot that.
Watch Columbia already own the rights to it, just to be on the safe side.
Yeah.
They probably do. I mean, like just in terms of like my day job and stuff and what we do, we'll buy a name and we'll buy all the variations of it for like a domain. So
So no one else can snatch it.
just in case we need it, you know. So for example, if we get, I don't know, Red Day, not that we would ever get anything like that, but you know, the redday.com, right? We get Blue Day, we get Green Day, we get Orange Day,
You get Ray Day.
we get Red Day. Yeah, you get the Red Night, rednight.org, rednight, etc. We don't do that anymore as much, but there was a
Right.
time where we would do all that,
Oh man.
you know.
Just out of fear of competition?
No, not out of fear of competition, but just because of we wanted to be able to dominate that namespace. So that if you should by accident not remember, like if for some reason you don't remember the name or you mistype or get something wrong, you still find us, you know.
Can I tell a tangent story?
Absolutely.
It's on topic with what you were just saying.
Uh-huh.
So I work at a school,
Yeah.
and in the mid 2000s, when kids were starting to get on the internet and stuff like this, in one of the classrooms in the building that I worked at, the teacher wanted to go to the official White House website, which is whitehouse.org. But unfortunately, in front of her class, she put in whitehouse.com,
Oh.
What was that?
which was a hardcore porn site.
What? What?
Yes, it was.
Who does that?
Someone
maybe
wants to
the
get
exact
bid.
reason why your company was buying all those names for that reason.
Wow.
Someone looked at whitehouse.com and was like, well, this is available.
Well, I mean,
Well, people look up the White House all the time.
you see, the thing is too, is it's like there's a bit of deception there, right? So like you bought whitehouse.com because you want the hits, but hits ain't gonna buy you, ain't gonna get you people to buy your stuff, whatever it is that you're selling. Although who knows, your porn site
That was in
maybe.
front of an entire class of kids.
That's rough, man. How old were the kids?
These are fifth graders.
Oh,
They go
fifth-
home and tell
dude.
Yes.
Mom, we went to the whitehouse.com.
Oh, that's nice, dear.
Yeah, we
No, Mom, you don't understand.
we did see the Oval Office.
I don't
We
know
saw
if
someone's ovaries.
I don't know if that website's still around, but I remember when it happened, it was a big deal within the school. 'Cause it's like no one even fathomed that. I mean, she mistakenly put .com instead of .org.
Yeah.
And that's what happened.
Oh man,
That's just crazy.
that's too bad.
Too unfortunate for her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I keep that, or do I have to edit that story out?
You can keep it.
Okay, just
I'm not telling anyone I work with that I do a
Okay, I'm just making sure. That's exactly. Yeah, that's why I have my pseudo name. Yeah.
Mhm. Too bad I threw mine out. You know, it's all right though. It works for me somehow.
Yeah, everybody loves you with your Primo.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, but so what else you got? You got anything else on that little?
Well, those are just the factoids I got from the doc I watched. The rest of my notes are I have pages worth of notes of the breakdown of the original movie.
Nice.
I was like, because I didn't know like what you wanted to talk about, so I was just kind of like picking up things here and there. But if I may, one of the things that you and I were talking about before you started filming was going back and watching these movies again, just like in the last 2 days, made me appreciate and love the original so much more, and made me dislike the sequels so much more.
Really?
I used to think they were comparable, but when I watched the second one, I was just like, this is Ghostbusters light.
So what is it about the second one that you don't like?
A lot.
But I mean, is it because it's repetitive? Because I mean, I always felt the first one was a duplicate of the second one. It's always what I felt, because in the end, especially, you get the giant monster, right? I mean, the giant ghost monster thing.
So looking back now, I this is all opinion. I can't verify any of this, but like I don't know the input of the people into the second one. We kind of have an idea of the input of people into the first one.
Yeah.
Bill Murray did a lot of his own stuff off the cuff.
Yeah.
And you kind of feel that when he delivers his lines. Like, even, for example, the line, "It slimed me," apparently wasn't in the script. And every
That's
time they
wonderful.
filmed that, he said something different.
Yeah.
They were like, well, okay, we're going with "It slimed me."
Yeah.
But in the second one, like, he just doesn't, it seems more scripted. He doesn't seem as natural. The jokes, to me, aren't as funny. Keep in mind, the first movie was edited down from a 500-page script, so it was a completely original concept. Whereas I feel like, in my opinion, I feel like the second movie was made to tailor to the audience of the cartoon, which was more children. Like, look at Janine. Like, in the first movie,
Yeah.
and then in the cartoon, she was like, had like a punk rock vibe, and she had. And then what did she look like in the second movie? They made her kind of look like the cartoon as opposed to how she was in the first movie. That's not to say that as a character she couldn't have changed, but I don't know. It just didn't sit well with me. I felt it was more like geared for children, whereas like there's some really scary shit in the first one. Like some of those practical effects are like the library ghost is pretty frightening.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's just my opinion.
Well, you actually do hit on it, because due to the fact that the second movie did come out a couple years later, and by that time, Ghostbusters was very popular when it came to the cartoons. Like, we've had the discussion when we did the '80s cartoons. My personal favorite was number 3 was Ghostbusters, and his was number 2, and we talked about it. And the thing is that not only there were 2 sets of channels at the time airing 2 different types of Ghostbusters. It's the same series, but Channel 7 did a more high quality, I want to say. It looks way better than the ones that were airing Monday through Friday. Okay? But apparently it was all considered one series. And then, yes, they did make her look like a punk rocker, and when the second movie came out, they made her look like that. Same thing, too. When that happened, when they made her go, now she's attracted to
Egon.
No, to Lewis.
Oh, really?
In the second movie, she's with Lewis. In the cartoon, after that movie aired, she's now with Lewis.
Huh.
And also Egon's character changed a little bit from the first movie. Like, I don't know. I'll watch the second one. Because when it came out in 1990, so I was, it was on cable all the time. So it's etched in my memory. But watching it with a more critical eye and as an adult, I'm just like, man, the first one, the originality, everything about it is just so amazing. And I just felt like the second one, it just didn't strike the same nerve with me.
Yeah.
It was like Ghostbusters light. There was also some questionable things in there that I didn't completely understand. Right off the bat in the first 3 minutes of the movie, Egon's talking about, he's experimenting about the effects of negative energy on physical environment, right? When he's filming in that little laboratory.
Right, the couples.
Yeah.
Right.
And so the whole rest of the movie is mood slime. Remember, Venkman makes the jokes like it's mood slime because they make a toaster jump and stuff. But I didn't get why did they used the slime at the end to help them because of the positive vibes of the people singing, but yet that, like when the slime tried to attack Dana in her bathtub, there was no negative energy in that moment. She was giving her kid a bath, so like there was like I was a little confused on that.
So like, I wonder if there was something happening, like since you mentioned the fact that the first one had 500 pages, and it got completely turned around and flipped upside down and reconfigured. They probably had like a team of writers working on that, right? They probably had writer after writer after writer writing that thing. I don't know if Dan Aykroyd had the writing chops at the time. I don't know. But like, I'm wondering, is what happened in the second one, did they then just said, okay, we trust you, go ahead and do whatever you want, and then it just got weird because Dan Aykroyd is, like we said, a little weird.
I mean, I was surprised to see that the writing credit for the second one still went to Harold Ramis and Dan Aykroyd. Like, it just didn't seem like the same
kind of,
and Vigo,
Vigo
the Carpathian.
Yeah.
Like, I guess he was an okay villain, but at the end he was just a giant head. You don't seem like you enjoyed the second one.
Well,
either.
like, no, I mean, I enjoyed it. It's just that, like I said, like the second movie was more towards kids, and they're using slime, and to tell you the truth, it seemed like a giant commercial for kids.
You think so?
Yeah. Well, the guns came out, and they were super soakers. You know, and pretty much what it was is like, hey, let's sell this. Make it a Ghostbuster gun.
I didn't realize that because they do look like super soakers,
right? And then there was a toy where it had a backpack, and you had to pump it, and there goes the hose. It was a slime gun.
That's horrible.
The second movie came out in '89, right?
Right.
Think about what else came out that same summer. Batman. What a great year for
movies. Oh yeah.
It was a great time, the 80s, for a lot of good movies.
The year before that was Beetlejuice.
Yeah, there's Beetlejuice, Gremlins, Big Trouble in Little China,
Indiana Jones.
It's just
Rocky. Okay. Rambo.
Just a whole slew of amazing movies. I don't care what anybody says,
but I love Commando.
Commando was awesome. Predator
one of my favorite movies. I love Commando and Die Hard.
Well, Arnold Schwarzenegger, just in general, like, you know, it's just that dude.
Well, you have to understand too.
If you ever have a show about Commando, invite me.
I thought we should do a show about the 80s movies.
We should do a show about 80 movies,
like from 80 to 89, because after 90 it was garbage.
We gotta do like a show of like 80s movies, but like 80s action movies, because we haven't done that yet. We've done like horror movies, we've done musicals. We never did 80s action movies, because 80s action movies is like a separate genre almost, to the extent that Sylvester Stallone has almost brought that subgenre back.
You think so?
With the Expendables?
Exactly. Yes.
That's what that is. It's like a harking back to the 80s action guy. Because, I mean, think about... I saw a meme, and I was like, that's so fucking true. And it was a meme, and the meme said, okay, these are your action heroes from when you were a kid. And it was Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, etc. Right? Mm-hmm. And then they're like, these are your action movie heroes today. And it was like Iron Man, Spider-Man, Doctor Strange. And I'm like, holy shit, we went from buff dudes to nerds, you know? And it's like, damn, man, what happened? You know, you had these super alpha types, right? And now you have like these really nerdy guys with superpowers, right? I'm
just running through my head right now that total 80s action movies, man. I'm like,
action movies in the 80s. And I mean, fucking Bloodsport, Jean-Claude Van Damme. You had all these fucking awesome
movies.
One of my
all-time...
RoboCop.
There you go. Aliens.
RoboCop. Aliens. Yes.
Terminator. Yeah.
Yes.
And one of my personal favorites I loved, and a lot of people were like, he sucks. I love Chuck Norris.
Chuck Norris is cool.
I
like
love-
Chuck
I love
Norris.
Missing in Action was Delta Force.
Missing in Action.
Yeah.
With Lee Marvin.
Well, you gotta love. Well, I mean, this was before the '80s, but you gotta love like that movie he did with Bruce Lee. You know?
Right.
What was it?
I want to say Chinese Connection. But
I
no.
wanted to say Chinese Connection too, yeah, but like it had different names because they changed them from the Chinese release name to
And like,
the American name.
speaking of, I don't want to go off subject here, but when I was watching Expendables, and the second one came out, it blew my mind that all the action heroes are being pinned down by the rival army, and then the one guy that bails them out is Chuck Norris.
Yeah, that's funny.
And I'm like, yes. And
Yeah.
he's done there. It's like, oh man, it's Quaid, it's Lone Wolf.
Yeah.
Like, you want to join us? No, man, I work alone.
Yeah. So
You want a commando factoid?
yeah, let's do this. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
All right. So, Commando. I love Commando. I'm so glad you said that.
That's crazy that you love Commando.
I love Commando, bro. It's badass.
You guys have a lot in common.
We store our show.
Hey, can I come on your
Of course you can. Bring the
I have
chips.
Commando soundtrack in my car, and I listen to it on the way to work. What other soundtrack combines Jamaican steel drums, saxophones, and synth bass lines? I can't think of any, but the Commando soundtrack does all three of those.
So he listens to the show tunes just like me. I'm cool. Okay, I'm not a nerd.
Commando factoid, since you're a fan. Script was written by, I hope I get the name right, Steven D'Souza. Okay.
Okay.
He also did script work. So he did the script rewrite for Die Hard. Die Hard was based on a 1970s novel about a older cop who saves his daughter in a building complex. The original idea was Die Hard was going to be Commando 2, where John Matrix saves his daughter from terrorists in the high-rise.
Wow.
Because D'Souza did both movies.
I know why it didn't happen though. You know, Arnold Schwarzenegger would never fit through the fucking through the ducks. He'd never get through the ducks. Maybe one leg. It don't fit. It don't fit.
But I thought that was interesting. That Die Hard was going to be Commando 2 with John Matrix and his daughter.
Wow.
And his daughter would be, older, and they would be, that terrorist.
Estranged and stuff.
Yeah.
This my new company. That's my big daddy right there.
Did you guys ever listen to that Kevin Smith story where he talks about where they hired him to write a Superman movie, and they kept telling him to put a giant spider in it, and yeah, there was like, yeah, no, giant spiders are really scary, and he was talking to like the executive producer, right? Basically, the guy gives you money for it, and he's like, no, man, that's really fucking stupid. Spider-Man's not gonna fucking fight a giant spider, just squish him. I mean, Superman's not gonna fight a giant spider. Like, it's just stupid. And he's like, no, you put a goddamn spider in this movie, right? And so I don't know what happened. I think I can't remember what the what happened in the story, but he had a falling out, and he was like, screw this, And so, like, he gets paid, he walks away, but and that was the movie that was supposed to be done with Nicolas Cage.
Oh, that's super.
Thankfully, that didn't get made, right? But like
the Tim Burton one.
Was it the Tim Burton one?
He was going to direct it.
Yeah, he
wow.
was.
So
How whacked out would that have been?
Well, get this. So then later on,
Jack Skellington coming down the building.
So later on, he goes and watches a movie starring Will Smith, right?
Uh-huh.
And it just happens to have the same producer in the credits for this movie, right? And it's called Wild Wild West. And I don't know if you remember Wild Wild West, but at the end of Wild Wild West,
Is there a spider?
there's a giant spider machine.
A giant mechanical spider.
Yes.
Yes, a steampunk spider.
Yes.
I've never seen it.
Yeah.
Oh, you're serious?
I am serious.
That is so.
I will see if I can.
Love spiders.
I don't know. I think he was
scared
really
of
afraid of spiders.
He thinks
And
that
said-
would scare people.
And then he thought that was terrifying, so he wanted to get that into a movie somehow.
You must think Spider-Man's a horror movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Venom. Oh my god.
So, dude, I got to look for that video. I see if I can find it. But Kevin Smith has gotten himself in a lot of trouble lately with that He-Man.
Oh, come on, man.
with He-Man.
He-Man.
What's up?
He like wrote and produced and created a He-Man movie, He-Man cartoon for Netflix.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Thank you for letting me know. Is it not good? Why did he catch heat for that?
I think it's interesting. I think it's worth watching.
I like it. I like it. I just did. It's
not what
it's
you-
internet. It's internet rumor.
Well, it's just more. See, here's the thing. Like,
Well, first of all, let's ask. Okay, you've watched He-Man.
no,
Okay, what do
But
you?
the original
what-
He-Man.
The original He-Man.
yeah.
Okay, that's my question. My question is: you watched the original He-Man. What is your view of him?
you know
What do you think of him when you see He-Man? What do you think?
What do I think of He-Man?
Right, like what
Like
what does he
he's-
what does he present? What is he?
He's the ultimate alpha male.
Yeah.
He's like, I mean, as opposed to his Prince Adam,
Yeah.
like the dual identities and stuff like that. I mean, he always wins, right? Like he's the force of good.
Well, you see, the thing is, do you want to watch this series? I
I would
recommend.
if you recommend it.
I would. I.
Is he not that anymore?
Well, here's the thing. Like, I don't.
How can
Stop.
they change-
Stop.
No,
Don't
I'm
tell
not-
him.
I'm
Don't
not
tell
gonna
him.
say-
No. How can they change He-Man that much?
Just watch it, and then we'll talk about
There's
it.
2 series out right now of He-Man. So
There's two.
yeah, there's a new one just came out. The new one.
There's a new one.
Yeah.
Not Kevin Smith one.
There's the Kevin Smith one will continue in December.
Yeah.
And then there's a new He-Man right now with a different spin on it.
What?
Yeah.
When did this happen?
Last week.
No way.
Yeah.
What service?
Netflix.
Netflix?
Netflix has 2 He-Man series on there.
I did not know this.
And this new He-Man, I dig it.
Okay. I gotta watch this then.
But you didn't like the Kevin Smith one.
Oh, I like the Kevin
Well,
Smith
you rolled
one.
your eyes.
Well, I rolled
No,
my eyes
no,
because
no.
of what's going on with the internet. But you need to watch it.
Well, you gotta watch it.
You need to watch it.
Then we'll talk about it.
I like it
I
so
don't
much,
want-
I bought the figures. So
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
here's the thing. There's a bit of a bait and switch. So like, I don't want to give you too much because I want you to go watch it. And I think that's the problem. The problem is Kevin Smith, especially with the trailers and stuff, presents a certain type of series, But then when you go watch it, it's not that serious. So,
Please tell me Merman is in it. Please.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
oh yeah, he is actually. He's actually. Go check it out. There's a lot of fanfare in it.
Okay.
But it's not what you expect. Also, but the first episode is so delicious.
It's the trailer.
It's
Pretty much the trailer.
but like it's classic He-Man.
Yeah.
It like amped up all the way, dude. Like they turned the volume up on that motherfucker
If-
all the way.
It looked like the original filmation.
Oh
No. They like animatified it,
Okay.
But they turned on the He-Man Alpha thing. They took the dial on that sucker and they put it all the way into the red,
and
dude.
they broke it.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome. That first episode's
It's like
fucking
you want
awesome.
He-Man after that episode.
But like, if you don't want He-Man to change for you, you could stop right there at that first episode.
I am so intrigued by this. Wow.
If you don't want to ever lose that awesomeness,
and there's
from-
also a documentary of that series on Netflix.
no way. I didn't know
With
this
Kevin
shit.
Smith as the host.
Okay, what the fuck? He's gotten a lot of heat for this.
Yeah.
Go watch it. We'll talk about it afterwards.
I recommend
Maybe-
it. It's a good. Don't get me wrong. I love it.
It's good.
It's just-
it's interesting.
It's just there's a spin I can't dig.
Well, it's just that there's a bait and switch. You thought you were showing up for something. They said they were going to give you hamburgers, and you ended up with tacos, and you're not in the mood for tacos.
It's like a hamburger and a sloppy Joe.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, it's
Absolutely fascinating.
But like, if you just want classic He-Man, watch that first episode and stop right there.
Wow, man.
But
I am so intrigued. You guys sold the series to me. Like I just want to.
Don't blame us.
well, that's just it too, right? They'll come back
Let's
at
get
us.
one thing straight, right?
I thought it was great. I thought it was interesting, but I was like, what the fuck is going on here? I remember thinking like, oh, wait a minute.
It's a deep series.
Well, I mean, because we talked about it afterwards.
Right. It's a very deep, and it's like
There's a lot going on.
a lot of explanation needs to go on, and
you got to think about the whole fact that he's got the double life and all that. But anyway, go ahead. We will talk. I don't want to talk anymore about it because then I'll give it away.
Since we're talking about cartoon, let's hit the Ghostbuster cartoons.
That's a good segue. Very good.
I have my moments. I ain't gonna lie.
You're almost like if you were a podcaster. Oh my god! Like you should be on a podcast.
I need a portrait of me.
So speaking of the series, like one of the TV series, I loved that cartoon growing up. But one of the I've said this before, but one of the most interesting series or characters in that cartoon series was there's two things that kind of like freaked me out that I thought was awesome. There was the Sam Hain character.
Okay.
The Sam Hain character was just like the spirit of Halloween, essentially, right? He's like all evil and eventually gets trapped in the containment unit, right? To capture him, and then like gets released, right? And so like both times, for me, it was epic, right? And then there's the episode where I don't even remember what happens in the episode because I was so young. Mm-hmm. But I remember that the Ghostbusters, they go to this town, right? And they're trying to help this town. And in the town, they have both vampires and werewolves. And you don't really find this out until the end.
Right.
And as they're leaving, the werewolves and the vampires are fighting each other. And then Winston turns around and says, hey, what happens when they start biting each other? And I was just like, what the fuck? What does happen if they start biting each other? And then the vampires and the werewolves start biting each other, and they start turning into this hybrid version of these monsters.
I remember that episode. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
They were fighting for the town because the town was hidden. So the vampires and the werewolves were fighting for it. And when the werewolves bit the vampires would turn into werewolves, and the werewolves would turn into vampires.
They were
going back and forth.
Yeah.
And so that was a never-ending battle right there.
That was awesome.
Between that and the Sam Hain, what you're talking about, the Sandman, and
Yeah.
all the other one,
the Boogeyman.
any of those would have been a better sequel than Ghostbusters 2. Why didn't they go with something like that?
That's a
As
great
opposed to
idea.
what they gave us in Ghostbusters 2. Why couldn't it have been Sam Hain? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That would have been, in my opinion, so much better than Ghostbusters 2. Like, then you could have had the fan service from the animated series as well.
Now
That
that
would have
he
been
mentioned
amazing.
that, there's an episode that they could have probably turned it into a movie, since the second movie happened around Christmas and New Year's Eve, right? There's a scene, there's an episode where they sort of go into a snowstorm, and the Ghostbusters are teleported to where what's the name of that guy? The guy who got visited by the three ghosts.
The Scrooge?
Scrooge.
Yeah.
They go to the Scrooge, and then they see that the guy is being attacked by three ghosts. The Ghostbusters bust those ghosts. Okay, so that when they hit back out of town,
That's a great story.
right? He writes a book saying how he defeated the three spirits of Christmas. Okay, so when they go back into the future, there is no such thing as Halloween. It's Grinch Day.
Oh, wow.
Scrooge Day, my fault.
So, like, they
Scrooge
changed
Day.
time
So
and-
they
yeah.
changed time. It's like, oh my God, we just did something crazy. We just killed Christmas.
Yeah.
So they have to go back. Not only that, they released the ghosts into the containment unit.
Yeah. So they had to go in and get them.
And Egon had to go in there together. And then you see all the ghosts from the series.
Again, all of these are better than Ghostbusters.
You know, and it was like, now that he said that would have been an awesome freaking movie.
That's a crazy thought, man. Like they more than once went into the containment unit to get something.
Right.
And I remember one of those times they went into the containment unit and they passed by Sam Hain. Sam Hain was like floating around on a little like asteroid type rock. And I'm like, oh shit, it's like space in there. Right?
It's almost like Ant-Man with the quantum realm.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
It was kind of like that.
Yeah.
Exactly. It was very quantum realm.
That episode you're talking about is when they accidentally put Slimer in the containment unit.
Is that what happened?
Yeah, and then Peter Venkman put on the suit to jump and get him out of there.
That's crazy.
Any
Yeah.
of that would have been better than Vigo the Carpathian.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, all these stories are so much better. Like you could take any one of these stories, you're right, and just kind of like expand them. And
I know this never would have been possible because you had 2 different movie studios, but just to throw this out there, how badass would it have been to have a Ghostbusters and Beetlejuice crossover?
fuck,
Right?
Man.
dude,
Right? Why not?
shit.
Why not?
Take my money. Take my fucking money.
Just
Make
add
it.
tacos to it
Make
and
it.
we're
Just
sold.
put tacos in it. And I'm in it.
All right, so I gotta tell you, like I was before Ghostbusters after, which I hope we have time to speak about the trailers. before
Yes,
the end of the
we
show.
absolutely.
But like a few years ago, I was thinking of other fan films to do because Michael Myers, and I thought about Ghostbusters, and I had an idea for a Ghostbusters fan film, but it would have been more like a trailer type. But not for me to make, but like just imagine like a world where I could actually make a Ghostbusters movie. I totally would have had a Beetlejuice crossover, and I would have had like so for example, if I were making the new Ghostbusters movie, and I'm sure Afterlife is going to be amazing, but years before that, when I was thinking about if I made a Ghostbusters movie, I would have had a Beetlejuice crossover, and I would have thought, okay, Ghostbusters are coming back into business, right? I thought it would have been kind of cool to have Craig T. Nelson and Joe Beth Williams from Poltergeist show up as clients.
Whoa! Even if they can't play them characters,
But just to see them, you'd be
yes.
like, I know who they are. And
Yeah.
we have a problem in our house, the TV, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you could get all these
that would be hilarious.
That'd be funny.
And like some people would get it, some people wouldn't.
And
But
it'd
those
be
people would
okay if they
like, "Oh,
didn't."
Poltergeist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that's great.
Imagine if you brought Michael Keaton back as Beetlejuice to be in a Ghostbusters movie. That would be so bad.
You don't even have to like have Michael Keaton be Beetlejuice if you couldn't. You just have him appear being a ghost or maybe be doing something Beetlejuicy, you know?
To be in, imagine the Ghostbusters against the Sandworms from Beetlejuice. You know what I mean? You have
That'd be great.
They have Tobin's Spirit Guide and the Handbook of the Recently Deceased right next to each other.
So we've been wanting to do a story on the Tobin Spirit Guide.
We got the book.
We got the book. I got a copy of the book. He's got a copy of the book.
Did you really?
Yeah, I meant to say this. I meant to tell you, we're doing like a series of Ghostbuster things.
Oh, cool.
So like this is the first episode. We'll do a second one on the Tobin Spirit Guide, and we'll probably do a third one once the movie comes out, the new movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It's amazing.
yeah, it does look
It looks
amazing.
really good.
I'm excited. They got Paul Rudd in it. I'm like, dude, what
Yeah.
are you doing in this movie, right?
Which I'm a huge Paul Rudd fan.
He's great.
Yeah, like I totally have a man crush on him. I'm a fan of his simply because not only did he play Ant-Man well, his very first movie was Halloween 6: Curse of Michael Myers.
Oh, fuck.
Was it his first movie?
His
Really?
very first movie was in the Halloween universe. He got to bash Michael Myers in the head with a fire extinguisher.
That's great.
What a way to start a career, you know?
Right?
Bash someone's head in, yeah. No, we were talking about that because I told him we should do a book review. And I told him, you know what? We've been talking about Ghostbusters forever. And I said we should do one. They always bring in the cartoon and in the movies, they mention it all the time. Tobin Spirit Guide.
He brought that up, and I'm like, wait a minute. Yeah, they always do talk about that shit. I'm like, is there a book? And he's like, yeah, there's a book. So I go look.
Is it written like an actual spirit guide, or is it written
It's
as
a
like
spirit-
a Ghostbuster book?
No, it's a spirit guide.
It's a.
That's so
They got
awesome.
they got the monsters, and then they tell you what the monsters do and their power sets and
Their origin.
yeah.
Of how they
I
came
have
to
a
be.
copy here.
So I'm sure Gozer is in there. And,
I didn't read it yet.
Gozers, I think. Everyone. It's the Ghostbuster edition, so it has the extended Ghostbuster edition attached to it. So it actually talks about the ghosts from the movie,
That's so cool.
like the brothers who got executed in part 2.
The Scoleri brothers.
The Scoleri brothers are on there. You know.
So the
so awesome.
it's crazy too because they tell you like what kind of like all that jargon that they use to describe like what kind of what kind of ghosts they are and how strong they are.
Yeah.
They got all that crazy jargon in there.
That's so awesome.
It is very awesome, and they got some great. I'll show you before you leave.
Where did you get this?
It's on Amazon.
It's on Amazon?
It's on
Yeah,
Amazon.
we got there's a few different versions of it. There's like a brown cover, and then there's a green one. The red one is supposedly, I don't know, the one that's the one that we got, just so that we're on the same page. But I think the red one's supposed to be the better one. I think the green one has like, I don't know, like problems with it or something. I don't know.
Like the green one is like a revamp of the brown one. The brown one is the original book. It's a hardcover, and it's just words. They don't show nothing. The green one is just like the one we got.
Yeah,
has pictures and tells the story of what's that, but it's not updated.
Okay.
So the one we got is the Ghostbuster updated one. So it actually talks about the ghosts from the movies as well as the stuff that they jarbing all through the series. You know?
How awesome is that? The actual spirit guide from the original movie.
Yeah.
That is so badass.
Yeah,
I can't believe I never knew about that.
Yeah, it's funny because he brought it up. I'm like, dude, you're fucking bullshitting.
He's like, he's bullshit. He looks it up. He's like, holy shit.
and I was like, I want this.
Now I want it.
Yeah, I should put it down here, but I wanted to read it, so I didn't bring it down.
I told him before you read it, do an egg wipe on it just to make
Yeah,
sure.
egg wipe. Oh yeah. I don't know if you know what the egg wipe is.
No.
That's how you get rid of evil spirits and the evil eye.
Oh no, I did not know.
That's a Mexican hocus pocus thing.
Yeah, you grab an egg,
Yeah.
you just do sana whatever, and then
I don't think it's sana whatever, dude. I think they will. I mean, it's like I don't know I've never had it done. I don't know what it's like. I just know that fucking Mexicans do it. My mom supposedly knows how to do this
Right.
shit. For all I know, she probably did it when I was a baby or whatever. But like the different ways that you could do this, like you take this egg and you rub it on the person, and then I guess you're chanting, maybe you're meditating while you're doing it. I don't know. But like they rub this egg on you, right? And the egg is raw. And then from my understanding, there's a couple different things you're supposed to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like one, you're supposed to bury it because now the egg has all the evil in it. It has the evil eye. Now the evil eye, as I understand it, is just like, especially for kids. This is why it's important. Like and again, this is nonsense. This is superstition. Don't you fucking people start believing this shit you guys are listening to.
Mexican jargon. That's what it is.
This is nonsense. But like, one of the wives' tales is that if you compliment a kid too much, or if you like, kind of give too much affection or like a kid that's not really your kid too much, you're supposed to touch them on the head because the eye or the admiration that comes from an adult is too powerful for a kid. It's too much for them to take. So if you touch them on the head, you dissipate that energy they've collected.
Wow.
Crazy shit. Anyway, so that's why you touch them on the head. You say, "Ay, mijo, qué chulo eres." How cute you are.
You smack the top out of it.
And you dissipate the evil eye.
Is this a tradition that's still?
This is like this is stuff that people still do.
Yeah,
but
it's
like,
true.
But like people, it's gotten to this point where it's like people do things and they don't even know why. So it's like, oh, mijo, that's what they don't even know why they're touching your head, but they know they should. That kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway,
And so
that's
you're gonna rub an egg on the Tobin spirit guide.
to like suck the evil eye out of it. But I mean,
bad
that's
ghost book.
but what happens is the adult sometimes does that to a kid and doesn't realize that they did it, and so sometimes that comes in with envy too. Like if someone envies you for some reason, they may not mean to, but they gave you the evil eye because they've envied you so much for all the things that you have or whatever. And so that sometimes that's it's basically unwanted attention is I guess what it is, right?
Right.
It's attention that you've gotten that you don't know necessarily that you're getting and you're not ready for. And now you've absorbed that and that negative energy is stuck on you. And one of the ways to get that off of you is with an egg. So you take an egg and they rub it on you, and whatever hocus pocus manner is done. I don't know what they do, if they dance around or whatever. I don't know what they do. I just know that there's egg and there's rubbing, and then they take the egg, and then once that egg has collected all the evil eye in it, you bury it.
Is this a practice that would be done several times on the same person, or is it one time?
I guess you can get it several times, yeah, because I guess it's like you can continue collecting, especially if people envy you a lot, you know, or people wish you bad, you know.
Okay,
that's what the Ghostbusters should have done. The egg wipe on the ghost.
Yeah, exactly. Well, egg wipe on themselves, so, you know. But anyway, like, so then the other thing you're supposed to do with the egg is you're supposed to crack open the egg, right? And like
that I've seen.
And you crack open the egg, you can see who gave you the eye.
I heard
the yolk will give you the face of the person. I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
The one I've seen was that they do the egg wipe.
Yeah.
They do the egg wipe, and then what they do is they crack the egg under your bed as you sleep. Then in the morning, when you wake up, the egg is cooked. And that supposedly collected all the bad vibes, and then it's like you just grab it and you throw it away.
And you throw it away. Yeah. I don't know. The other thing I've heard is it's something similar where like you're supposed to have water underneath your bed, or you're supposed to have, or you put water and an egg in there, and that does similar stuff. So like while you're sleeping, it protects you or sucks the egg out, the evil out of you.
The evil.
The evil eye. I shouldn't say evil, but like the evil eye. The basically the bad wishing. And
I would love to know what all this is like rooted in. Like
I don't know where it came from. Mexican culture is, as everyone knows, is a unification of two different cultures, the Spaniards and the indigenous peoples of the Americas. So like I can't tell you if it came from the Spaniards or if it came from the indigenous. My guess would be that it came from the indigenous peoples, but I really don't know.
That would seem to make more sense because like the Spaniards that came over were what, Christian?
Yeah.
Right. So and then everything that you described is you don't really find in Christianity. So
yeah.
Wow.
So like, but yeah, like there's a lot of like little weird little nonsense things like that. But yeah, like you would take that egg and you crack it open, and you're supposed to be able to see who did it.
And yet another example of what would have been better than Ghostbusters 2.
The Fortune of the Tag.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much.
There's also since we did that already, we talked about Ghostbusters. There was one episode that stands out to me, and I sort of do like it, and it focused on Winston.
Okay.
Winston somehow got thrown into another universe, and it just so happens to be the ghost universe. In that world, humans are trapped.
That is so cool.
Instead of ghosts. The ghosts is the main species of that world. So you see Egon, Peter, and Ray as ghosts.
And they're busting humans. That's interesting.
So they have like techno-organic blasters that shoot slime to capture humans.
And then what does that do?
They put them in a trap. They put them in a containment unit. Yeah. And it's a big box where just a bunch of humans are.
Is that where he goes?
That's where he goes.
And how does he get out?
He somehow finds a way to bust. Somebody helps him or something, and they bust out. And it's like, I think it's like a human version of Slimer.
Whoa.
Yeah, that helps him escape or something, and then they make it back, and then they somehow followed him, and he busts them. Now you have 3 versions of the Ghostbusters inside the containment unit. That was one of the episodes that really stood out to me.
That's crazy.
I gotta go back and watch all of it.
Yeah. The only thing is,
tripped out.
It sounds trippy. The thing is just like, is it gonna be like Thundercats, where like I go watch the old Thundercats and the old Thundercats suck.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
Because like there's this in my
Tell me that. I only have good
I spilled
memories
it.
of
How
Thundercats.
big?
yeah, like me and him talked about Thundercats once, and I like I can't remember what happened, but something inspired me to go and pick up Thundercats, and I was thinking like I remember thinking like, oh, Thundercats when I was a kid was so great, and so I went to some fucking convention like a nerd that I am, and picked up like bootleg copies of like old Thundercats episodes, and it happened to be the quest of like Lion-O quest,
Right.
where he like becomes Lord of the Thundercats. Right. And in my head, I remember that being the dopest series because he takes on all the Thundercats. And then I watch it and I can't get through the first act of the first episode, dude.
So rough.
It is so rough. Like the voice acting, the writing, all of it. I'm like, oh, this is so hard to watch. I can't believe I used to watch this. And then all I could think about is like, no wonder my dad hated me watching TV, because he would come in the room and he'd see me watching this shit and he'd be like, what the fuck are you watching? Turn that shit off. And I'm like, Dad, this is cool. Shut the fuck up, Dad. You know, like, and my dad's like, this is horrible. And I'm like, no, it's not. And now that I'm grown up and I see this, I'm like, holy shit, no wonder my dad hated me.
Wow.
This stuff is sucky, yeah.
Like the thing. Okay, the difference between that and Ghostbusters and Thundercats is like
You think Ghostbusters was better?
I think I enjoyed it more.
I don't want to go watch it and then be pissed at you for making me watch it.
Well, you're a Ghostbuster fan. Either you like it or you don't.
No, dude, I'm a Thundercats fan too, dude. But I wouldn't go back and watched it, and then I couldn't stand it.
Well, that was. I don't know what to tell you, but
Okay, I mean,
okay. I like I told you, and I had the same effect with him when they watched Thundercats. I started watching it, and I told him, dude, some of them episodes were like, I couldn't breathe.
they were garbage.
I was
man.
like, Jesus, I think
garbage.
this episode gave me cancer.
Just fucking
You know?
garbage.
And I was like, oh my God. And then I was like, I told him, I was like, how far did you go? I'm like, I'm first trial of Lionel, and that's it.
Yeah.
Like, and I said, I had to take a break. I said, man, I find it hard to breathe.
What was
Yeah.
the name of the gray cat?
Oh, that was Panthro.
Panthro.
Panthro was so badass. Panthro was so badass.
We
He
talked
was a
about-
black dude
We call
who was a mechanic and like a technology expert.
and mastered martial arts.
And master of the martial arts and the nunchucks.
So
he was like the most skilled motherfucking dude there,
And he
dude.
drove a lowrider because he's
He's the baddest ride.
The Thunder tank had hydraulics, and he's like, "Zh, zh, zh."
Didn't he be like, wasn't he like, you can't use my Thundercat, my Thunder Tank?
No, he get mad if you scratch it. You
Yeah.
can take it.
Well, because the motherfucker made it himself with his own two hands.
You better bring it back in one piece.
That guy made everything. The most talented motherfucking Thundercat.
He's like-
Lion-O, the black Thundercat, dude. Like, or Panthro, I'm sorry, not Lion-O, Panthro, master of the martial arts, master of the nunchucks, technology expert, mechanic. What did the other fuckers do?
Well,
Did
Tigra built the castle.
Tigra built the castle? I don't think so.
He did.
I think Panthro did that.
You watch it, which I know you're not gonna do.
You can just make shit up then.
No.
Don't make shit up
I'm
on
not
me.
making shit up. Not making shit up. You see, Tigra and Chitara are talking about building the cat's lair.
Okay, so aside from Chitara being fast, what other skill set did she bring to the table?
Staff,
She was
right?
the eye candy.
No, dude, that's not enough.
What the hell?
That's not enough. That's not enough. There's 5 of you. You got to repopulate. You got to remake the civilization. You got to participate.
a lot of work ahead of her.
You can't just be like the baby maker. You got to like do something other than just Panthro, like alpha male, man. Like think about it.
More so than Lion.
More so
Yeah.
than Lion-O.
Technically, Lionel was still a kid in a man's body
Yes.
because he never growed. He was in a chamber all that time.
Exactly. He has the mind of a kid. On top of that, what skill sets did he have other than kicking ass?
But isn't that enough?
No.
What was the 80s? Maybe it was enough.
He was a leader, but like, what did you the lead? Like, how is he going to be a leader?
Okay.
He's like 15.
Well, he was a leader, but he technically had to earn that right by going through the trial.
Yeah, but that was a physical trial. If they gave him a fucking an examination, like gave him some tests and say, okay, well, like what's
2?
Yeah, I bet
If you
that
got
kid,
2 furbles and
bet-
you take one away, how many you got?
I bet he couldn't figure it out. I bet you. Fucking Lion-O probably could. Lionel's probably a fucking mathematical genius.
You're
dude.
talking about Panthro.
Oh, I'm sorry, Panthro's probably a fucking mathematician, dude. Think about it. He had to make all the weapons, all the electronic weapons,
And he did.
and he made the tanks. He did all this stuff. He was a genius. He was not only that, but he was also like
I'm going back and watching this series with my son. I'm gonna watch Thundercats.
and then you're gonna be like, this shit sucks.
Miko never watched this again.
yeah.
Wow.
Well, I mean, he tinkered with all kinds of stuff too. Like he was an inventor.
Yeah, he was the inventor.
He was the inventor. He was that dude. That dude. If all the other Thundercats died, that guy would be okay so long as he had Chitara the multiplier.
Oh, yeah, you forgot about Pumara, man.
Pumaro came along later, right?
But it doesn't matter, but she was there.
Dude, like that's the other
Who
thing.
were the two kids?
Wiley Kit
Wiley
and
Kid
Cat.
and Wiley Cat. You
Was
see?
it?
Wiley Kit and Wiley Cat.
Yeah.
We had to
They
wait for her
offer
to
anything-
mature before
Yeah.
anything even else happened for
Did they
her.
offer anything other than just getting in trouble?
That's
I
it.
think that's
They
it.
just got in trouble.
Just
I
got in
think
trouble,
so.
yeah.
I think
they
they
lost.
might have
They lost a lot of boards through the series. Panther was pissed.
I think they were maybe they helped with farming or something.
Farming my butt. They didn't do nothing.
You don't think they did it?
No, all they did was fly around, lose the board, and hey, we lost the board. Can you make us another one?
Fucking
We're running out
Panther
of
must have
time.
been like, what the fuck, man?
Man, I'm gonna tie
Yeah.
that to your ankle, man. What the hell?
I mean, if I was Panther, I would be like, dudes, I got shit to do, man. I'm like building weapons so that that asshole Mumra doesn't come over here and fucking try to kill us, you know?
Damn,
like,
you-
quit losing the fucking boards, will you? You know? Like, that's how I would be if I was Panther. I'm like, look, assholes, quit losing the boards. This is the last fucking board I'm making you. This is the last fucking. You lose this one, you're walking everywhere, you fuckers.
That's a Hispanic part of it. That's the Latin.
That is the Latin- yeah, well,
If
Panther
you
was-
lose it, that's it. You're
Yeah.
walking home. Okay.
Yeah. Ándale, cabrón. That's
Yeah.
it. You know, he's Panther is Cuban, right?
Instead,
It'd be like-
instead of like nunchucks, he has like a chain with chanclas tied to it.
Oh,
Like,
dude,
dun,
he's,
dun, dun,
he's so dangerous.
it's brutal, man.
Chanclas are slippers. Yeah.
Will there ever be a Thundercats reboot as a movie?
We've talked about this.
I don't know.
The guy,
They're doing He-Man again.
the director, and the director who directed Godzilla vs. Kong
Yes, we did talk about this.
was offered the director's chair for a live-action Thundercats.
I don't know,
And
bro.
he
Agreed.
down?
No, he agreed.
So they are going to do it.
Yeah, they're
I
just
don't
waiting. They're just
know.
waiting on the script because he said, "I'll do it if it's like supposed to be Thundercats, not like this guy said, cats with swords." You know,
How would they make that look?
I don't know, man.
I don't want to go. I don't want them to do CGI because
Well,
it'd be
dude,
terrible.
look what happened with Cats, that movie Cats, right?
They
Like,
look creepy.
they not only look creepy, but it was horrible. Like,
I mean, I never saw it, but I've seen YouTube videos about it, making fun of it, and
Yeah.
they look creepy.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift was one of the cats.
I didn't know that.
Taylor
Yeah,
Swift and the
she was
girl
in this-
from High Note, the big girl, the British. Yeah, I think she's a British.
Oh,
Comedian?
Wilson. Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
She came out in Bridesmaids. She
She's-
was the girl with the
she's not British,
tequila
she's-
worm tattoo.
Rebel Wilson?
Rebel Wilson.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
She was.
You
she
have
was
a
in there.
great mind for all these names, man. I can't remember a
I don't
goddamn
remember
name.
Leslie Jones, though.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the show.
I got hit in the head too much. That's my problem. As we spoke before. Yeah.
I
That's
probably
why I
got-
don't
I
drink.
probably got dropped a couple of times, but it's okay.
But so then, like, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know if that'll work, dude. I don't know if that'll work because I mean, if they make, it's just like
It's hard.
it is
First of all,
hard.
it's first of all, you're looking at humanoid cats, and a lot of people don't even. They have a hard time with just a big guy in a suit. You know,
I mean, if someone can pull it off, it'd be Hollywood, right? I mean, Hollywood can pull it off.
As long as there's enough fan service,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because like that's the lesson we're learning from the reboots that we see, like the Star Wars Force Awakens, all the fan service that went back to New Hope.
Yeah.
The new Halloween movie that came out in 2018. Like I don't know if you guys saw that. Did you see that Halloween?
yes.
Yeah, he would
And
watch
even
that.
even Halloween Kills that's coming out. Like all the fan service to the original movie. Like down to the point of the same exact shots.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like they so we know that like they know the formula. They know what people want. They know what's going to get the best applause. which is staying true to the original material.
Exactly.
Which may be, again, another reason why 2016's Ghostbusters didn't work.
Not enough.
Enough fan service. Like, based on what I've seen in the trailer for Afterlife, it is just fan service through and through.
As soon as they throw, it caught my eye. I was like, I don't want to see it. I really didn't want to see it because I was like, they're going to mess it up again.
Afterlife?
Afterlife. This is before, there's only one image that said, that's it.
What was it?
Ecto-1.
Ecto-1.
Ooh, okay.
It's original Ecto-1.
The original Ecto-1. When he found it in the barn,
Yeah.
it said Ecto-1. I'm like,
It looks so amazing.
I
I'm
don't
like, what?
remember if Ecto-1 had that side gunner.
Okay.
that was a cartoon thing.
I was going to say, that's in the toy.
As was the ghost catcher on the remote control car.
Yeah.
Right.
You see in the trailer. Like, I've never played the video game, but I heard that's in the video game too. The gunner chair, as well as the ghost catcher, the mobile ghost catcher.
Right.
That's amazing.
Which I've never played the video game, but I heard that the video game features all the actors in it, and it's like part of the Ghostbuster canon.
Except
Yes.
for Winston.
Winston's not in it?
No, you're the fourth Ghostbuster.
Oh, so you're Winston.
Oh.
Yes. You're not
So you didn't get to hear his
Winston.
voice or anything?
You're not Winston.
You're just
You're just the fourth Ghostbuster.
Man, Winston gets cut out.
That's
Yeah,
kind of jive.
That is
Sucks.
not cool.
It sucks.
But then it's like,
I mean, it's like a first-person view.
so,
So it's you see Peter
it's-
Venkman, Ray Stantz, and
But it's canon, right? Like,
Yeah.
Like it's like
See-
they carried it on. Like it's an
like
extended-
it,
is
actually
canon,
it
yeah.
actually comes out to the point where it's like it's actually part one.
oh,
They're looking for a fourth Ghostbuster, and you're coming looking for the job.
Oh, okay, that's kind of cool.
I don't know.
I mean,
what kind of caught my attention right away with the trailer, which I don't know if you guys caught it, but going back to the original Ghostbusters, the Evo Shandor. Okay, do you remember the Evo Shandor character?
No, I don't.
Ghostbusters, the original. So he's never in it. He's the architect that makes the apartment building
yeah, he's the one. He's the architect who had like seances on the roof.
on the roof, and like he was an evil doctor who did all these horrible experiments, like live
Shit.
surgeries on people. And so he joined or he founded a Gozer worshiping cult.
Yeah.
And he used to have seances. And so he basically, through the architecture of the building, it was meant to be an antenna to this other dimension.
That's right.
Well, if you noticed in the Afterlife trailer, have you seen the Afterlife trailer where the kid from Stranger Things
Yeah.
is looking down the shaft and that red light comes up?
Yeah.
Shandor Mining Company.
Shit.
So it's like, okay, they're going with the Evo Shandor because he wasn't from New York. I don't know that he was from wherever they filmed this next movie, but Evo Shandor is the architect of the apartment building. His name is on the mining company. Some ghost comes out of the shaft. You see the devil dogs. You see Gozer come back.
Yes.
It's like, talk about fan service. They went as far as bringing back the architect of the original.
That's fucking tight.
Right?
Yes.
I mean, and that's because you had Jason Reitman, the son of Ivan, like on board. Like, they did it right. Now, 2016 didn't have any of that.
Yeah.
But
No.
this is all of that. And like, I've never had, like, when I remember when the latest trailer came out, which was maybe a month ago or so. I think it's the last trailer before the release. When did you guys see it? It ends with Ray.
Yes, I seen.
I haven't seen
Yeah,
it.
they posted it on Facebook.
I gotta check it out.
I don't want to ruin it.
No. Tell me what happens.
Well, okay, so it looks like it's Egon's daughter is the mom, and then it's her two kids. The granddaughter is the one in the gunner's chair who's
Okay.
shooting the stuff. And they're watching the YouTube video of the original Ghostbusters saying, we believe you with the phone number.
Yeah.
And the clip shows, I think it's the mom or it's the granddaughter dialing the number. And the trailer ends in Ray's occult bookstore and Ray picks up the phone. Wow. Like, that's badass.
Yeah,
And all of it, you hear Dan Aykroyd's voice saying, "We're closed."
Yes.
But you see his hand in the bookstore pick up and answer the call. I'm like, that's badass.
Answer the call.
Answer the call.
Dude.
Quite literally, he answers the call.
He answers the call. Like, and that's one of the big kind of story kind of points for like a hero's journey, like answering the call. That's amazing.
I'm very curious to see how, like, I'm guessing if I were to bet any money, I would say this is probably the last movie. But, like, it seems like it's getting passed on to the kids.
Yeah,
It
Like
is.
they're discovering the equipment. She's shooting the proton pack. They got the Ecto-1, the ghost trap. Like they even find a ghost trap and they bring it to Paul Rudd's character. In the
Right.
who I think is probably like an antagonist of some sort.
Oh, do you?
I got something.
Ooh, that would be cool.
I got some kind of hint that he might be like an evil character or like an antagonist in the trailer. I can't remember what it was. I think it was just like one of those like shifty eye things.
That would be so cool.
And
Because right now you just think he's like the hero.
The fanboy.
He always is.
yeah.
Actually, he acts like the fanboy. Like, oh, do you know what this is?
Yeah.
Where'd you get a copy of this? And he goes, copy. This is the original one. And he's
Yeah.
like, what? Your dad's a Ghostbuster? And he's like, no. I was like, it was my grandpa. And he goes, what's a Ghostbuster? And they're like, you don't know what a Ghostbuster is?
Yeah.
And I was like, wow. I love all that. I'm like one of the biggest. I want to say I want to be a big fan, but I know I'm not. But I know there's guys out there bigger than me. And I told him, like, I went and bought the figure sets, the first ones, and it's like all
Huge
six
toy collector too. This guy.
like the 6 figures. If you get the 6 figures, which is from the first original Ghostbuster movie.
Back in the 80s?
No,
Or
recently
what are
they
you
just
talking-
Hasbro released Ghostbuster figures like authentic to the movie.
Okay.
So they have the original ones from the original movie, and it's like a Build-A-Character. So you have Dana, Gozer, the 4 Ghostbusters each have a part to a figure, and the figure is Zool.
Wow.
Really?
Right. And then if you're a real fan like I am, it's like it has Lewis and the other Hellhound together as a 2 set.
Vince Clortho.
Yeah. the Keymaster.
Keymaster, yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, my girlfriend's like, are you going to get the other 2? I was like, hell yeah, I'm going to get the other 2.
That's hilarious.
Are these like at Target or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Walmart. You see them at Walmart. But they already came out with that the plasma series for the new movie, and they have the kids.
Oh, that's cool.
And each one has a part to another character, which looks like a walking hellhound.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was like, I don't want to get them yet. She goes, why not? Because I don't want to know who the character is yet. I want to see the movie.
Because you see in the trailer, I think it was the second, because there was a teaser, then there was the first, and then there was the final. So I think it's in the first trailer. Paul Rudd's in his car, and the paw of like the gatekeeper lands on his hood, and you hear the snarl of the demon dog, and he looks up, and I'm like, oh, that's so badass.
Yeah.
Like they brought back all those characters, and you see like that red spirit shoot out of the mine shaft.
Yeah.
And there's something up, but like very quickly the glance over Evo Shandor mining. I'm like, oh.
So it's awesome. Like, wow, you really took this apart because like I got excited that the dogs were back. Mm-hmm. But also now that you mentioned all this, it makes sense that they would tell you, oh, here, the dogs are back, and then you're thinking, oh, it's the dogs again. They're just giving you a little bit.
It's a little taste.
A little taste. That's not the end all be all bad guy. Mm-hmm. So like you're saying, the architect is in this.
Well, his name is on there.
Well, he's probably in it.
And like Gozer's definitely in it because
Yeah.
you see her come out and when like out of a pit,
Uh-huh.
you see her arm.
They're not going to
to
give you the dogs.
without Gozer.
Well, they're probably going to give you something bigger than that.
Wouldn't it be great if they started reaching into the animated series? And what if it was some like Sandman or
Some
Kid or something
crazy,
like
obscure character.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be some kind of like demon version of this architect you're talking about.
that. That'd be cool.
Because I mean, that's what I'm thinking. Like from
Never
what
get
you're
to
telling
see
me.
him in the first movie.
Yeah.
No?
I guess he's in the video game, right?
He-
Is
he-
there more of a
he is-
history of him?
There's more of a history. They talk about the hotel. They talk about him.
But you never see him.
But you don't see him. It's like pretty much what it is like both the first movie and a little bit of the second movie, but they don't introduce the slime thing.
Okay.
It's something else.
Okay.
It's something, and that game actually came out years ago, and they just re-released it for the PlayStation 4.
Okay.
You know,
guys.
so from there, I was like, I just had to get it. I'm like, I loved it, and then I thought the truth was, I thought it was gonna be the arcade game, the one that you had the Pro Champ X as the first view game, and I thought that's what it was. But actually, what it ended up being, it was a whole new game itself. Wow. So you play the fourth Ghostbuster.
And they cut out Winston.
I
How
mean,
did that make you feel? I mean, because that would have upset me. I feel bad for Ernie Hudson.
Yeah.
Like his part got cut down in the first movie. He
right.
Kind of just
like they didn't do that to Bill Murray or any of the other characters.
Can't, right?
Yeah.
I know. But like Winston was a cool character.
He was.
And you know, and they did do a lot of like character building in the series too. That there was, I don't know what season it was, but in one season they went back, they did backgrounds on each character.
Okay.
Like Egon, since he's into science and everything like that, his descendants are wizards.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Okay.
And Winston his descendants are like ancient demon slayers from Africa. Winston.
Huh.
Ray is crazy. Some sort of I want to say a witch, a warlock. His descendants are warlocks, and they trapped. There's an episode where he went back in town and everything, back to his old town, and apparently his family buried some sort of dragon somewhere in their town, and it was waking up. Wow. That was one of them, and then I really don't remember what happened with Peter.
I want to watch the cartoon series now.
So the cartoon kind of spun it that this is part of their lineage and this is what they're doing now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
See, so that is a little bit of a turn from the Ghostbusters 84 movie then, or whatever the original intent for Winston Zeddemore was, because I remembered from the documentary that Dan Aykroyd's vision for Winston. So Winston was supposed to appear like on page 28 of the script. He did appear on page 28 of the script. Mm-hmm. But then through the filming process, he got pushed and his part got smaller and smaller. But that one of the original ideas was the Ghostbusters through the lens or through the eyes of a layperson. So basically, a normal average dude, Winston, who sees all this paranormal shit, these three scientists doing this thing. So he was like this guy off the street, kind of like you see him, he's got the newspaper and he looks up and he goes in, they hire him. So, but in the cartoon though, it sounds like they're spinning it to where he had a history. He's not just a guy off the street.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
Well, it sounds like it's like this is what they're called to do.
Right, exactly.
They just happen to be.
I hope he's in the new movie.
Yeah, or they pay him some kind of tribute, right?
I hope so.
Yeah.
I mean, he was in the 2016, but like way, way, way at the end of the movie, like.
Oh yeah, he was in that movie.
He's like he's the uncle to the girl.
So it's his hearse.
It's his hearse. He owns a funeral home,
that's
and he's
cool. Right.
Yeah, and he's like, hey, I'm here to pick. Where he goes? Well, I told you, Uncle. He went to the other side. He's like.
And 2016 ends with Zool, right? In the refrigerator, or am I making that up? Okay.
No, that was the extended version. And then the extended version, they did it like they're. But the thing is, the refrigerator's in the firehouse. So you get the close up. You walk into the firehouse, and you go, and then you open it up, and and all that. I was like, oh.
Yeah, they were trying to build it up to a sequel.
Yeah. There's a lot that you see because it's like everybody made their appearance in that movie. Even Slimer made an appearance in that movie.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he actually had a female Slimer in the movie too.
I think it was cool that they had the ghost from the Emblem as a character in the movie. I thought.
Oh yeah, right. They sure did.
Did they have a name? Oh, because it was cool to finally see that ghost in motion.
Man, I do not
Because he was a
remember.
giant in the movie, I believe, wasn't he? Like, wasn't he the size of a building or something?
He was walking. He's the one who like summoned the ghosts to attack the girls.
He had a name.
He had a name. I know he had a name. I just don't remember what he said. But he was like calling out to them like kill and go and
Kinda cool.
and that's when the girls did the little fight scene.
So we're approaching about 2 hours, and the cameras are running out of juice. So we're going to have to
Plug
call
them
it
up.
quits.
No.
No, it's just that
No,
one.
no, I get you,
One
bro.
of the cameras actually died on me. Not died on me, but like it cut off. So I think we lost footage, but I'll figure it out. It'll be fine. I got enough cameras to cover.
Okay.
So I got the wide shot. At the very least, we'll use the wide shot. But the wide shot's running out of battery too. So
Cool.
we're gonna have to call it quits, guys.
That's fine.
But so before we go, is there anything you want to plug before we take off, Rick?
No, just the Michael Myers movie. Should I throw that out there again?
Yes, throw it out. Throw it out.
Michael Myers' Absolute Evil, Halloween fan film that I made in 2015, 2016. It's a fan film made in the style of a documentary that treats Halloween's 1 through 8 as if they were real events. And it ends with original material, found footage stuff from Haddonfield Memorial.
It's great.
Love it.
It's great.
Love
If you
it.
guys haven't seen that yet, you should check it out. It's on YouTube and it's for free, right?
It's all free.
Yeah, it's awesome. And cousin Primo,
I got nothing.
you got your Instagram, man.
I'll go on my Instagram. Yeah, but
You gotta start putting shit on your Instagram.
You need to do it because I can never talk like
It's
that.
cousin Primo. No, it's cousin underscore. No, it's the real.
There you go. I was about to say the real. I know I put the
The
real in there
real
somewhere.
underscore cousin Primo on
Underscore.
Instagram. That's my cousin Primo. You can go there and check him out there. Holler, haunt him, do all that stuff. Give him the evil eye.
Just
Maybe-
don't stalk me. I'm not that popular yet, but I'll get there.
Give him the evil eye. Give him an egg washing and do all that to him. And I am Edgar OtraVez. As you always know, you could find me on Instagram under the name Edgar OtraVez, and you can find the show under the Flow Roll. And thank you so much. Thank you so much, Rick, for coming to the show today and talking Ghostbusters. Very, very awesome, man. And thanks, cousin Primo. And thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We'll catch you next time.
Primo's out.
Later. All right. The music you're listening to is titled Forward Thoughts, and that's by 91 Nova. You can find that over at Epidemic Sound. Make sure you use my referral link. Make sure you use my referral link in the description so that they know that I sent you. Man, I had so much fun. Talking about Ghostbusters in this one, man. Yeah, and these two guys, they're such, cousin Primo and Rick Gawel, they're good subject matter experts. I mean, they really know their Ghostbusters. They really, really know their Ghostbusters. So anyway, I enjoyed it thoroughly. I hope you did too. Now, if you like what you heard and you want some more, make sure you go to our website, theflowrollpodcast.com. And if you like this nonsense, you can find us at Instagram under the name The Flow Roll. You can find my special guest, Rick Gawel, on Facebook. He's got a Facebook page called Michael Myers Absolute Evil. He also has a YouTube channel, Ad Nauseum 11. Don't worry, I'll put all the links in the description so you can find them. And make sure you follow me on Instagram, Edgar OtraVez. And also, don't you forget to follow the amazing cousin Primo on Instagram under the name _real_cousin Primo. Like, subscribe, comment, and share this show wherever you listen to your podcast. Make sure you press all the buttons, all of them, that make the podcast gods happy. Thank you so much for listening. You guys behave yourselves. Laters.